good morning. Merry Christmas. Glad you guys could make it today. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. I am Sean in Alaska. This is going to be a long live, but I do not expect everybody to hang out for the whole thing. Pop in, say hi. If you got other things to do, I completely understand. And then, if you're looking for something to do later on tonight, this live will end at 2 p.m. Alaska Standard Time, which is 3 p.m. Pacific Time. And then after that, you got to do the math yourself. Sorry, folks. Especially you, Ray, in Newfoundland, where you guys have like a half-hour time zone difference that totally messes me up every time. Alone in remote Alaska, Curmudge in, and Cut the Cord Alaska will be going live. There'll be a redirect at the end of this live. So at about 2 o'clock when we end this, there'll be a redirect that'll take you right over to there. If not, I'm sure I'll be able to share the link in here a couple of times. But it's wonderful to see you guys. Glad you can make it. I hope your Christmas was absolutely fantastic. Jump up here to the top to JD. Welcome, brother. Merry Christmas to you. Glad you could make it today. Scott at Hester's Garage. Scott, how you doing, brother? Merry Christmas to you as well. Ray, our resident Newfie in the house. Merry Christmas to you from Newfoundland. Ashley Anderson, Merry Christmas to you as well. I don't know how to pronounce that. So, AFJ third. And I'm not going to mispronounce whatever it's supposed to be. So during your childhood, we had large family gatherings. We all lived close together, aunts, uncles, grandparents, cousins. It was wonderful. And that's in answer to the what's your fondest memory of Christmas? At any time in your life, what's the one thing you look back and you go, wow, that was awesome. So many for me, but mostly all of them involved either my children or my brothers and I when we were all little. So super, super cool. Speaking of my children, here is my daughter. Favorite memory ever was the times we sat around the kitchen table decorating gingerbread houses that I made for him. Love you, Daddy. Merry Christmas. I love you too as well, Boo. Merry Christmas to you. And she sent me a Christmas present, and she knew I was going live today, and she said that I have to open up her Christmas present while I am live. So before we get any further here with all the hellos and how do you do's, I'm going to go grab her present from under the tree and open it because it actually made it in time. I've got a couple of them here that I thought I'd just go ahead and do my Christmas present opening while we're here on the YouTubes. Oh. This is from my daughter Brianne. Come on. She said, Dad, you got to open my present on the live. So we're doing that right now. I just want to say beforehand that, my child, being my child, I have to make sure that she understands if this is not family friendly, the screen is going to go blank and YouTube's going to kick me off. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. You left this card down here during your last visit. Thought you'd like to have it back. Oh, that is awesome. That's right. That's from Gloria, huh? Thanks, Boo. Greatly appreciated for sending that back to me. Look at this. Holy smokes. My daughter learned how to crochet. Nice. Very awesome. I'm thinking it's Doctor Who-ish. What do you guys think right here? And this is perfect timing too, Boo. Perfect timing because the temperature is supposed to go to 7 below 0 Fahrenheit tonight. Right now it's 10 degrees above. This is awesome. Thank you very much, babe. Greatly appreciated it. I love you. I am going to set that over on the couch. That's the first Christmas present I opened this year. Very cool. Ashley Anderson, I think I said hello to you. Joe Matano, I have something else I have to do. Is Kaylin here? Is Kaylin with you right now, Joe? Let me know. Ray Hindi, my fondest memory would have to be when I went to Norway for Christmas while I was still in the Army many years ago, of course. Beautiful country, so much like here in Newfie, people so friendly. Very nice, very nice. Always, Gina, Merry Christmas to you. Glad you can make it today. Emma Morton, Merry Christmas to you as well. Built on the Rock Homestead, Merry Christmas to you. Robert Steele, Merry Christmas. From Maine, very cool. Art in Deep South Alabama, good to see you, brother. Merry Christmas to you. And speaking of Merry Christmas, you filthy animals, Russell, Merry Christmas to you, my friend, to you and Alicia. I hope you guys are having a wonderful time. You guys at the cabin right now? Well, I imagine, I don't know if you go to town to spend it with the kids or if the kids come out and hang with you, or if you guys just solo it. Let me know. Robert Curmudgeon, Merry Christmas to you, my friend. I went ahead and, like I said, I put a link at the end of my live. It should automatically, and we'll see if it works, it should automatically direct you to Robert's live that they're going to do. And I don't know how long that live is going to be. And hopefully, Alone in Remote Alaska will be able to be there with him. He was telling me they were having some trouble. They had an avalanche. We had an avalanche as well, but they had an avalanche that knocked out their either their power or their internet, one of the two, and they didn't know whether or not they were going to be able to get it back up. Lucy Valian, welcome and Merry Christmas to you. Ed Case, Merry Christmas. Glad you can make it today. Big Bear Prepper, Merry Christmas to you as well. Doug Adams, Merry Christmas. Ashley Anderson, Merry Christmas. Allie G, Merry Christmas. Rub it in. Rub it in, Art. Shorts and t-shirt again on Christmas Day. Well, I mean, technically, I'm wearing shorts and socks right now, right? So, but it is chilly outside. Debbie DeForge, Merry Christmas to you. Very short time that oh, you're moving to Alaska. Very cool. Very awesome. You'll love it up here. It's beautiful. Ah, it's incredible. Yesterday there were some absolutely just beautiful scenes as that storm was breaking up, and I was out there with the snowblower. It was just phenomenal. John Feeney, happy Christmas to you as well, my friend. Rebel Canners, Merry Christmas. Built on the Rock Home said 34F when you woke up, mid 40s now, blue sky but cold. Was just in a live stream, and apparently New England and northern states are warmer than Texas. That's, yeah, you know, it's my brother Will was over today, and he dropped off a gift. I'll open that up in a bit. But he was over here earlier today, and he was telling me, man, they just got friends of his that live, you know, on the UP, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and they said they got almost no snow at all right now. It is so warm, it's crazy. Grace Lomas, Merry Christmas to you. Glad you can make it today. Junior, 2 days in a row, my friend. Merry Christmas to you from my family as well, to yours. Milo on the Ready, Merry Christmas to you. KT, good to see you as well. Merry Christmas. Bubba Wolf, Merry Christmas to you. Trudy, Merry Christmas. Glad you could make it today. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Have a happy and healthy new year. Watching you all from Atlanta, Georgia. Very cool. Checking in to say hello. Like I said, if you guys are busy, by all means, get out there and enjoy your time with your family or whatever it is you had planned. I'm going to be here for about 3 hours today. I do the, I kind of put it out when I shared the live originally on the Facebook page, but I did my first Christmas live when I was in the trailer. I was by myself. I was enjoying myself. I don't have a problem being alone. And I got to thinking, I don't know what I was doing, but I think must have seen a post that said something about, you know, people being alone at Christmas and how it's difficult for some people during the holidays to be alone. And I thought, well, heck, I'll go live, and then they can hang out with me. We could just have a good time. You know, we could chit chat. We can enjoy ourselves. Do not feel obligated in any way, shape, or form to say hello if you don't want to in the chat. Just know that we're thinking of you, and it's good to have you here, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope this makes your day a little bit better. Lori, awesome to see you. Merry Christmas to you as well. The scarf is about 16 feet long, so should be fairly accurate for the fourth Doctor. Very cool. You knew exactly. I knew when I saw it. Doctor Who. I love it. A little bit before, actually, that was probably right about the age where I was watching the original Doctor Who's on PBS. Very cool. PBS, for those not in the United States, is the public broadcasting system. So it's a non-commercial channel that we used to see any of the overseas British shows, that kind of stuff used to be on that channel before, you know, modern day television. I'm drinking a cup of chai vanilla tea. I've never had chai tea before in my life. It's pretty yummy. Alex sent me this. He's a viewer of the station and sent me a whole bag of just mixed twining, or a whole box full of mixed twining teas, because I do enjoy tea on occasion. And so I thought I'd reach my hand in there blindly today and grab the first tea bag. And the first one I pulled out was cold brew tea. And I go, nah, it's not going to work. Second one was the chai, so we're giving that a taste. It's not bad. Chai vanilla, not bad at all. Merry Christmas, Steve G. Awesome to see you. To me and my daughters and everyone in chat, very cool. Greatly appreciated. Yes, she is along with the rest of the family. Okay, so I don't do this very often, but I have to do this for Caitlin. Are you ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Caitlin Montano. Happy birthday to you. I hope that embarrassed the heck out of you. Yesterday, Joe made a comment, and I said, is she going to be there tomorrow? And he said, I'll make sure. I go, you want me to sing her happy birthday? He said, yep. Okay, so it's done. Karen DeGuider, welcome, Karen. Merry Christmas to you as well, you and your entire family. Mike G, ho, ho, ho. Yeah, I retired the Santa hat for the year. We won't see the Santa hat again until next year. Oh, good. So Alone's got power back on. Very cool. Kristen Grounds, Merry Christmas to you as well. Glad you could make it today. Okay, Russell says, City Girl and I are hanging out at the cabin, currently making Christmas dinner, pie in the oven, City Girl stuff, and a Cornish hen, etc. Nice. Yum, yum, yum. I'm probably going to send out the link here. Anybody that's got a channel or that has the ability to do so wants to join me for a couple of minutes. It's going to be very, very laid back and loose today. So it'll be kind of fun to hear from some different folks out there. So if you're interested, let me get through the hellos real quick, and then I'll post a link up there for anybody who'd like to join me today. Merry Christmas, folks watching the KC play like the 1990s Chiefs. I don't know if that's a good Chiefs or a bad Chiefs. Brian Barnes, Merry Christmas to you. From Brian and Samantha in Waterloo, Ontario. Awesome. Natasha, Merry Christmas to you as well. Where do I live in Alaska? I'm down on the Kenai Peninsula. I'm outside of the community of Soldotna, Alaska. So about halfway down the Kenai Peninsula, about an hour and a half north of Homer. Destiny, Merry Christmas to you as well. There's one for you, right? Favorite Christmas memory, the Sears catalog, man. When we were kids, that was the deal, right? The Sears catalog and the Montgomery Ward catalog. But to get the toy catalog from Sears was just, man, my brothers and I would grab that, go, and my mom would give it to us, and she knew she was getting silence for like the rest of the afternoon because we would all be in the room just digging through that catalog. In Maine, it is 43 and raining, not snowing. Yep, I knew where you were going with that. The Sears catalog. I knew where you were going with that. I love spending Christmas and my birthday in live streams. Beats being alone on that day. My animals refuse to talk to me. Your animals don't talk to you? My chickens talk to me all the time. Happy birthday to you as well. Yeah, it's not bad. It's, I'm an Irish breakfast guy. I like really big, bold teas. But I also like, like peach teas, fruit flavored teas. But I've never had this before. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Fat Man Prepper, Merry Christmas to you today. I truly miss the Christmas of the early 80s when all us kids would get together with no real world worries. Yeah, right? Before we had to worry about paying the bills and making sure we had everything there on time. And all I got to say is thank God for the internet, because if not, my kids would never get presents. Carol L., Merry Christmas to you as well. I'm terrible with sending stuff. I always wait. I was always the last minute shopper. And the last couple of days, there were posts on Facebook and TikTok and stuff that I saw that were just me completely. It was on Christmas Eve. I first saw the post on the 23rd, and it said, "Men, it's about time to start thinking about shopping for Christmas presents now. Not yet, but it's about time to start thinking about it," because I was the Christmas Eve shopper. Sandra Volmar, Merry Christmas to you as well. Thank you very much. It's Milo the dog's birthday today too. Nice. Happy birthday, Milo the dog. And righteous laughter erupts. Nice, nice. Merry Christmas to you, Lord Vader. By Mr. Soprano, I hope you mean Tony, right? Because we know that there was no musical ability in that song whatsoever. Merry Christmas to your first live here. Oh, AJ3 or AFJ3RD are your initials. I answered Arlen. Okay, Arlen, good to meet you, my friend. Glad you could be here today. You have a goat that turned 1 yesterday. Nice. Very good, Joe. Not a problem at all, man. Caitlin's she's always razzing me about on different posts about, tell Joe we're ready for snow. And then you comment back, no snow. Michael and Kelly, Merry Christmas to you. Glad you can make it today. Mike and Kelly from Henderson, Nevada. My dad lived in Silver Springs, Nevada, which I don't believe is anywhere near Henderson, Nevada. But I think Henderson's down towards Vegas, I believe. But Merry Christmas to you. Debbie, turkey, ham, tortilla, and I butchered that word. All the fixings, yum, yum, yum. I'm doing a ribeye steak. I mentioned it on yesterday's live. Kind of like it's about a 2-inch thick boneless ribeye steak. I'm gonna cook that up like prime rib, but I'm gonna do it in the cast iron skillet, and it's gonna be delicious. It's gonna be yummy. The Sears catalog, where boys learn so much about all the girls. We don't need to go there. It's Christmas. We don't need to go there. Merry Christmas, Scotty. I just watched, Scotty had a video on smoking a prime rib roast, a rib roast, bone on and everything. And it was, when he got to the reveal at the end and he cut it open, it was a 3-bone roast. It was absolutely gorgeous. It was perfectly cooked. It was absolutely gorgeous. Scotty, I watched that this morning. Very good job, my friend. Very good job. Junior, favorite Christmas memory was family time together, right? Yeah, and that's kind of, I think, what a lot of this holiday is all about. And for those that, don't have, like I said, and I don't want to ever bring this down or make light of it. For those that don't have a whole lot of family around, like in my case, I have zero family around other than, I call him Brother Will, but we just pretty much grew up together. I called his mom mom and he called my mom mom. You can find family everywhere. In my family, I have so many aunts and uncles and cousins that are not related to me at all that will blow your mind. But that's the nice thing. I think it is every day is absolutely possible for everybody to pick their family, so to speak. And you guys are part of mine on this Christmas day. Brad Christensen, Merry Christmas to you as well. Want to jump in and wish the Cozy Cabin a very happy holidays. Stay warm. Thank you very much, Brad. I hope you have a fantastic day today. The kids say, Merry Christmas, Grandpa. Dalton tried to start talking to you like it was a video chat as soon as your live started. Hi, Dalton. Hi, Declan. Hi, Dash. Awesome to see you guys this morning, Dalton and Dash. Very cool. Decky, I think, was probably asleep, but very, very awesome. Being so far away from family and having the ability to video chat or to go live like this so the kids can see their crazy grandpa, it's amazing the times we live in. It is amazing the times we live in. KT's asking, am I working tomorrow or vacation for you? So I am working Thursday and Friday. I took Tuesday and Wednesday off. I work in a union, and we get vacation time, but we also get what they call personal days, and we get 2 of those a year. And the vacation time will always carry over, but personal days disappear if you don't use them in a year. So I'm burning both of them tomorrow. Or I'm burning both of them this week. Tuesday is a personal day. Wednesday is a personal day. Back to work on Thursday and Friday, and then off for the weekend, and then back to regular schedule from that point forward. So yeah, a little mini vacation. It'll be kind of nice. I was lazy all morning this morning. I got up this morning. I cooked Spam and eggs. I love Spam. Made homemade hash brown potatoes with cheese on them. Spam, eggs over easy, and English muffins for toast. So it's nice, and a nice fresh pot of Kona coffee. Yum yum. Milo on the ready is going to do steaks on the grill later today. I would, but I don't feel like shoveling out the grill. So I don't know. I've been known to do crazier things. I may, but that's a big, big stretch for me to go out there and shovel the snow off that grill today. Am I going to have potatoes with the steak? Yes, I'm going to have mashed potatoes, and I'm going to probably have corn. Either corn or spinach. I love spinach. Jonelle Blackman, Merry Christmas to you as well. The Rose Family Vlog, Merry Christmas to you. Built on the Rock No Bio family around. I'm pretty happy about that. Got so many old friends around here. Love it. I just wish Santa and brought... Well, I lost the rest of that. Okay, well, let's come down here real quick. No family around me. I prefer it. I got so many great friends locally. Right? That's awesome. That is cool. That is super cool. Herman Hill Farm, Merry Christmas to you as well. I'm having a wonderful Christmas. I hope you are too. Okay, so on my lives, generally, it's just Sean in Alaska doing the lives, and I'm not really good at this. But let's see if I can make this work. So if I click invite, and I click copy, and then I go over here, and I click paste, and I go boop. So if that worked, and you're out there and you want to join me up here on the live stream for a couple of minutes and just say hi, tell us a bit about yourself. Let me know what you're doing this Christmas holiday. I would love to have you join me up here. Like I said, this is going to be till about 2 o'clock this afternoon. And when I tried to do this last year, I probably couldn't talk for a day and a half, which did not make anybody angry. I will tell you that. They said, man, Sean, you've been very quiet the last day and a half. But it hurt by the end of it. So anybody who wants to join me, let me know. Let me know if that worked, and I will figure it out from that point forward. CK, Merry Christmas to you as well. Gaba, Merry Christmas. Glad you could make it today. Scotty, your Wi-Fi's not good enough? No problem, brother. No problem at all. Although I really wanted to have you up here so you could answer some cooking questions. Scotty can cook, man. Scotty can cook. Navy Dave, Merry Christmas to you, my friend. A COVID Christmas for you. No, no, no. Yuck, I hate that. There's nothing worse than being sick on the holidays. There is nothing worse than being sick on the holidays. Get better. Get well soon, my friend. Get well soon. Wish Santa had brought me a pickup in his sleigh, as mine got totaled this year, and the geese have been negligent about laying golden eggs. Ugh. Right? Ouch. Kaba, Merry Christmas in Georgia from Funny River, Alaska. Awesome to have you here. Mark Davidson, glad you can join us this afternoon. Merry Christmas to you. I hope your Christmas has been fantastic so far. All right, let me go grab another gift. We'll get Angie gave me a gift, and Angie pops in here with Beamer saying hi all the time. Her and I work together at my store, and now she's working at our sister store in Kenai. So I'm going to open up the gift that she gave me. I'm kind of excited to see what she did here. Oh, where has my little knife gone? We got here, we got here. Oh, I think I know what this is. I think I know what this is. Yes. So I hope you guys can see these. Angie is a very talented and very creative person. And if you can see that, where is it at? Where's my camera? There's my camera. Right? Etched glass, Sean in Alaska. Oh, that is super, super cool on beer glasses. Nice little 16-ounce tumblers. On this one, Sean in Alaska on, see if I can, that'll make it go better or not. Sean in Alaska on that side. Look at that. See if that paper will make it stand out a little bit more. Right? That's an etched moose on that beer glass. That is super cool, Ange. Oh my gosh. Was there an etching on this one? Oh, there was, and I missed it on this one. I need my glasses. Oh, there we go. This one has, I don't know if you can see that or not. This one has a wolf on it. Oh, Angie, these are gorgeous. These are absolutely gorgeous. So we got a moose and a wolf. Oh my God. This one is a bald eagle. Look at that. Is that super cool or what? And she did these herself. And this one is a bear with a salmon in its mouth. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I'll put a picture up of these on the community tab later on when I can get a better light for them so that you guys can see them, but they're gorgeous. They are absolutely gorgeous. Oh, that is super cool, Edge. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She sent me pictures of the designs, and man, I can't believe she knocked them out that fast. She's got a glass etcher, and she does that kind of stuff on the side. And I've been yelling at her forever that she needs to start selling this stuff, so hopefully she will. But that was super, super cool. Yep. Built on the Rock videos get out in the sunshine. I've seen research showing sunshine actually heals people of COVID and other infectious diseases. It was when they had the big Russian flu thing. I read some articles about it years ago. They found that when they took the patients outside of the, if they stayed in the hospital rooms where they, where with all the sick people in the sick wards, they didn't seem to get better. They seemed to get worse. But somebody had the idea of starting to take them outside. Maybe it was due to overcrowding in the hospitals because it was pretty bad back then. And as they would bring them outside, the more time they spent outside, the faster they recovered. And a lot of that, I think, has got to do with, fresh air, so you're not getting all the other stuff moving around with you. And then, the influx of vitamin D into your system. I am a huge proponent of vitamin D. I don't really get sick very often. And that's, I think, because my doctor's got me on vitamin D. What have? But you're on internet problems. Oh, you're having internet problems on and off. Yeah, it happens. The chickens are fantastic, Junior. I fed them yesterday, so I only feed them like every 3 or 4 days. They got a big feeder, and usually when I come home and they're standing at the fence yelling at me, that means it's time to refill the feeder. I do get out there and see them every day, but they're doing fantastic. They were out this morning, as a matter of fact. Even as cold as it is right now, they're all feathering back out again. So most of the molt is done for them. And then I threw them some straw and some sunflower seeds yesterday, black oil sunflower seeds, which helps them put on a little bit of fat, keeps them warmer in the winter. Kay Young, Merry Christmas to you. Glad you could make it today. They are gorgeous, right? See, oh man, they're beautiful. Lou Farbus, Merry Christmas to you. I thought I missed you. Merry Christmas. Sorry, a little late from the UK. It's late in the UK now, but this is early for me, so I'm glad. I think usually I go live at 3, and everybody tells me it's about midnight there. So what? 9-hour time difference. So right now it is about noon, so it's about 9 p.m. at your end, right? It's about 8:30 your time, I think, right now. Yep, no problem. I just threw the invite out there. I'll throw it out there again later on too to see if anybody's interested in jumping up here. KT wants to know how far is my closest neighbor. So if you've seen a house right next door to me, there is literally a house right behind the bump where the fire pit is. But they're only here maybe 2 or 3 weeks out of the year, and that's it. And it's usually in July. It's usually during fishing season. So they're not a full-time resident. For full-time residents, Todd is across the street and down the road. And he's my closest neighbor. Yeah, I don't know. He's probably maybe four or five football fields away. That's probably about how close he is. There are a lot of people that live around me full time, but I hardly ever see anybody here. I rarely ever see anybody. Right? They're beautiful. They are absolutely gorgeous. Yes, you did, my friend. Spam and eggs. Love me some spam and eggs. Karen, oh my God, the eagle! I want one. When Angie was talking about opening up an Etsy store, so when she does open up an Etsy store, I know she's going to do some of those designs with the eagles and the bear and all that stuff. Um, I'll let you know because I know a million people that would really want to get a hold of some of those glasses. Right, the moose is beautiful. All that work is all the stuff she does is just gorgeous. Greg Tokley, Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Glad you just popped in today. If you got other stuff to do, don't feel obligated to hang around, folks. I cannot stress that enough. I appreciate anybody who wants to hang out with me, but I also understand that Christmas Day is a big time for family and friends, and if you've got plans, by all means, do them. Enjoy them. We offer a glass etching workshop at our craft store. Very cool. Yeah, Angie's pretty talented. She makes cabinets, does all kinds of stuff. Matter of fact, our old boss, which is her boss again, is now at the store that she just went to. And when she was not working, he kept sending her messages. Well, now that you're not working, you can go build cabinets for Sean. Scotty says 2:30 Wisconsin time right now. How was the pizza and beer last night? So I drank more of those Deschutes. I bought a 6-pack and I ended up drinking 5 of them. Right, I had one with you guys. I had 2 while I was having pizza, and then I had 2 more when I got home. It was wonderful. There was a lot of folks there. There's maybe probably 8 to 10 people there, which was a nice little gathering. All local people, everybody from the area. We laughed and talked and just had a wonderful time. Had a wonderful time. Right? Beer and pizza. Yum. Papa Murphy's, you can't really beat it. You cannot beat it at all. My closest full-time neighbor is half a mile away. All my other neighbors are several miles away. Love the quiet, except geese and Nubian goats are not. Geese are not quiet. Geese are not quiet. I don't know about the goats, mind you, but I know geese are not quiet. Scotty, you want to make some oyster stew? Yummy, 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 yummy. So, folks that are here, obviously, because if you're not here, you can't answer the question, and I wouldn't be talking to you anyway. What was the biggest, happiest surprise that you got this year on Christmas, or during this Christmas holiday? What was the biggest, happiest surprise that you got? I don't want to hear about the negative stuff. I want to hear the happy stuff. It's all about happy today. And Russell wins for most remote person on the live chat today. My nearest full-time neighbor is 3 kilometers away. And that's why Russell has such privacy at his place. And it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. If you guys are not familiar with Russell at Raspberry Rock, you need to be, because he makes some fun videos. He makes some neat videos. He has the greatest live stream ever in the history of YouTube, as far as I'm concerned. And he's a wonderful person. So by all means, definitely check him out if you are not a follower of his already. Although I imagine most people that follow me either found me through Russell or have heard me talk about Russell enough. So you have no excuse at this point. You guys should be very familiar with the man, the myth, the legend. What else do I have over here? Well, I got Brother Will's present. Let's open Brother Will's present and see what we got. Oh, Greg. Greg got tickets to the Toronto Maple Leafs game on January 9th. Nice. Hockey tickets. All right. This one came from Brother Will. Let's see what we got here. And I'm sure Barb wrapped it, because I don't think Will was wrapping anything up like this. This is from Barb and Will. Nice. I was just telling him I needed to go pick one of these up, and he said, "Yeah, you might want to hold off on that. Just wait a bit." Right? All in one. Which means the next time you see Sean, all of this hair is history. It's gone. Very cool. Very cool. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated, man. Much appreciated. It's rechargeable. My favorite kind of stuff is all rechargeable. Oh, that is awesome. Wall hair trimmer. Right, James? Merry Christmas to you and great disco lights. Scotty, thanks for that, brother. Sharing out Russell's link to his channel. He's out of Northern Ontario. Russ, where are you guys out of? Where is a remotely close area that anyone would understand to where you are? Merry Christmas, Forrest. Glad you can make it today. I hope your Christmas was fantastic, and I hope the rest of it is as well. Maybe Dave, any trouble with the CO sensor on the Honda? I disabled mine on Champion, kept shutting it off in open air. When I first got the Honda generator and was running it, I had it in a location that would cause the exhaust to come back around the front, at which point the carbon monoxide sensor would shut the thing down. And once I realized what I was doing, I just moved it a foot over, and it's fine. I have no issues with the carbon monoxide detector on there at all. I am, though, still having issues with moisture in the fuel. Today, it's been running pretty good. Yesterday, it ran pretty good, but, man, it's an Alaska thing. These gas stations up here have so much water in their fuel, it's crazy. Kyle 505, Merry Christmas, my friend. Glad you can make it today. And Merry Christmas to you as well. Jeannie Jacinto, welcome. Glad you can make it. I saw that name, and I grew up with a girl by the name of Jeannie Giacchetto, and I thought for a second, holy smokes. Southern Web, Merry Christmas to you as well. Glad you can make it. From Tennessee, very cool. Well, there's an idea for you. What are some regional traditions for Christmas where you're at? So, my family tradition has always been you don't open a Christmas present until Christmas Day. And then I guess the California traditions are, we put our lights up right around Thanksgiving time. Christmas tree would stay in the house until New Year's, and generally New Year's Day is when you would clean everything up from Christmas. And then, most people, I think, in California, it was either ham or prime rib for Christmas dinner. And we had Christmas dinner on Christmas Day. So if it's different where you're at, kind of let me know. Here in Alaska, it's kind of the same. I imagine the entire west coast of the United States is pretty similar. We might have a couple of different things up here in Alaska because there are a lot of folks from Minnesota and Wisconsin that live up here. and then there's a lot of folks from Texas that live up here. So, we have an influx of those different cultures, identities as well up here. So we have some different stuff that goes on too, but generally the West Coast is pretty similar. Okay, Russell's in Eastern Ontario. There we go. Yeah, Greg, I've been putting some seafoam additive in the gas. I also use heat, the yellow can. Usually put a cap or two in there, and that seems to help. And I know heat's basically grabbing the water, and then seafoam is cleaning everything out while it's running. So I kind of alternate. Every couple of tanks I'll do seafoam, every couple of tanks I'll do heat. I don't do them in the same tank together. Just put a half bottle of isopropyl dry gas in every 5-gallon jug fill up. I didn't even think about that, Steve. I should probably do that. I should probably look at doing that and use that as an additive. That is not a bad idea. Yeah, tamales were big in the part of California I was from too. I didn't even think about that. Tamales and Christmas went hand in hand because we had a large Hispanic population in the area, and that I love tamales. I love good tamales. Steve G's by himself, so he just pan fried up a thin ribeye, and that'll have to be your prime rib dinner. Nice, right? Very cool. There's nothing wrong with ribeye. There's nothing wrong with ribeye. Southern Web, pajamas for the kids on Christmas, and can open or Christmas Eve and can open one present. Okay, nice. Like I said, that no present rule was my personal tradition. Christmas for me was Christmas Day. You don't get to open up anything till, and that probably came from my dad. It's not Christmas. You don't open up anything till the next day. Scotty, oyster stew on Christmas Eve, ham on Christmas Day in Tuolumne. Nice. All right, cool. Growing up in Sacramento, California, Mom made turkey on Thanksgiving and ham on Christmas. My birthday was after dessert in the evening. Nice. So you got a double dose of gifts, I hope. I hope you didn't get ripped off, man. That's always been like my worst fear for anybody who was born at Christmas is they only get the Christmas presents. They don't get the birthday presents too. Forrest, right? Just put 190 proof moonshine in your gas tank. I don't know about that, man. I don't know. That's an awful lot of moonshine. And I can think of better things to do with that 190 proof, I tell you what. What else do I have over there? I can open something else up. I have one more gift that came when my daughter's present showed up. I will show you this. So this was yesterday while I was live, and there was a knock at the door, and I went over, and it was my neighbor Pete. And him and his wife Amanda and their daughter baked up some little cakes and desserts, little treats here. I might munch on one of these a little later. Let's see what we got. Ooh, that looks yummy. That looks yummy. Matter of fact, oh, that smells delicious. Oh yeah. Little candy canes and a little chocolate. We'll pop those out right here. Probably munch on those later. All right, so the other thing I got was this Amazon package. And I thought, you know what? I didn't really have much of the way of Christmas trees underneath or Christmas presents under the tree, so I thought, well, we'll open this on Christmas. Nice. Nice. So I do have a Amazon wish list, and I put this on the wish list once I found it. And these are curtains for the windows, for the two big windows on the front. Nice. See who they're from. Scott, thank you, brother. Merry Christmas to you as well. Hester's Garage. You rock, dude. That is awesome. This is 52 inches by 63 inches. And there's two of them in here. So I don't know if one set will be enough to cover the windows. But if not, then I'll go ahead and I'll get another set. Nice. I love it. Oh, I'm going to save that there so I can do the thank you on the internet for that as well. That is it. That is awesome. Oh. All right, scrolling back up here. Beto, Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Glad you can make it today. Come on, Jen. My sister is a Christmas baby. She always said she got cheated on gifts, even if she had 10 more than everyone else. I got birthday presents on my birthday, but I've never gone out on your birthday. Nothing's open, right? Yeah, that's true. Well, you could have gone to Walgreens. That was the big joke at the store yesterday before I left. My boss is all, you have everything you need because, if you need something, we're closed tomorrow. And I looked at him and I said, I just go to Walgreens. And he just started laughing. But yeah, Walgreens, the one store that I don't think ever closed. Karen, I completely agree. The greatest gifts I have ever received in my life have been handmade, have been homemade. There's just something about them that is just incredible. All right, Bowie, thank you very much. I love you. We're dipping out. Got to play some videos with the kiddos and get ready to start getting our ham in the oven. Love you. We require a picture of you and your jumbo scarf. Well, definitely. In the kilt, as a matter of fact. You get a picture of your dad in the snow in Alaska wearing a kilt with the jumbo scarf. I love you, babe. Have a great, great Christmas. Nick, love you too. Kids, Declan, Dalton, and Dash, have a wonderful Christmas. Grandpa loves you. Ashley Anderson, Christmas birthdays are just different. It's hard to explain. It's like your birthday belongs to everyone else, right? But then there's always a party, though, right? And you could just say, no, they're here for my birthday. It's not about Christmas. Michael and Kelly, I make a meat lasagna and white chicken lasagna and a Greek salad and garlic bread. Yum. Yum. My mom used to do lasagna on Christmas Eve when we were kids because it was so easy to fix. Just something she could throw together real fast because she was too busy taking care of everything else and with everything she had to do after the kids went to bed, right? On to it, Aussie. Merry Christmas to you. It's the 26th down there, I believe now, though, right? Or pretty close to it. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Welcome. Tradition on Christmas Day growing up was a family cookout. Nice. Trail Camp Pete, Merry Christmas to you. Ashley, that is so true. My uncle liked pumpkin pie, and so we had it no matter what. I didn't even have a birthday cake some years. And Junior, your family the same as mine. We don't open presents until that day, right? Yeah, till Christmas Day. Joe, thank you very much, man. Merry Christmas to you and Kaylin. I hope you guys have the best of times. And Kaylin, again, happy birthday. Wonderful that I got to sing your birthday song to you today. Greatly, greatly appreciate your guys' friendship. Have fun, guys. Yep, it's Boxing Day there. Up, Fat Man Prepper. Let's add you to the stage. Fat Man, welcome. Merry Christmas, brother. How are you?
Merry Christmas. Actually pretty good, all things considering.
Nice. I think you were one of the first people who actually showed me how to use StreamYard properly and how to have a guest.
Yeah. Oh, I remember those days. You were living in that fifth wheel.
Yep.
How is Beulah?
It's just a storage unit right now. Hopefully I'll get it cleaned out and find somebody who wants it in the spring. But for now, I'm just using it to store everything I don't want to leave outside. So it's kind of nice.
Like the chickens?
No, the chickens have their own little coop. It's funny because I have the box that the black chickens were in, and then I have the big coop that I built for the red chickens. And I never updated the big coop for all the chickens, and now they've kind of all migrated to the box. So they're like not using the big coop at all. They just go in there and lay eggs, and then they all sleep together in the other one. There's 15 birds all together, and they're doing pretty well outside on their own.
Nice.
Cool. So anything exciting happened for you for Christmas? Exciting in a good way?
My Christmas gift came right around the end of September, first part of October.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I had a widowmaker heart attack.
Holy smokes.
And I learned from that, I'm thankful to be alive each and every day.
Oh my gosh, I guess so, man. I had no idea. I didn't hear anything about it. Holy smokes. That's a wake-up call, huh?
Yeah. Well, I went to the cardiologist. Funny thing is, it started about 8 o'clock in the morning. I didn't go to the hospital until 5, 6 o'clock at night. Went to the cardiologist about a month ago now, and he said, Yeah, your heart's doing great.
Oh man, that is awesome. So you got there before it got to that, obviously got to that point where it was irreversible.
Well, there's still some irreversible damage. I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
it was 100% blockage. Uh, but I mean, it's still ticking, and it just kind of put things in perspective.
that is crazy, man. That is crazy. I'm so glad to hear though that you got there in time, type of deal. And that you're here today to, you know, to be able to talk about it and see the positive side of it.
Well, it did change my outlook and thoughts of moving to Alaska. Um, I won't be able to do like I wanted to, but I've got a good friend here who kind of forced me to go to the hospital, and he's got he's got the 10 acres. I'm finished paying it off this year. Well, next year, around about June, July, and it's his. And he'll be your furthest neighbor for for in about what, 2.5, 3 years.
Oh wow, it's that's one thing that I don't think a lot of people take into consideration that want to come up this way too is that if you have anything medical that happens to you and you live remote, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then even in my situation where so I take thyroid medication every single day. So if I were to go remote, I need to make sure I have that thyroid medication with me or access to be able to get it to me no matter how far I am in the bush. So there's some definite things that you have to take into consideration when you have a lifestyle issue like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be on this blood thinner, the rest of my natural life and
Right.
unnatural. Hopefully, hopefully I'm sticking around for an unnatural life.
Nice, nice. I mean, but that doesn't preclude you from being able to come up here. That just precludes you from being able to be drastically remote. And
Yes.
you'll want to be probably within an hour or two of major medical areas where you can get any kind of assistance that you may need medically, right?
Well, yeah, if I decide to actually make it up to Alaska, it'll be in one of the major cities. I mean, working now for the state of Arizona, what I do, um, I can very easily transfer that into working for the state of Alaska, doing this exact same thing. And
Right.
they always want talented people that are very experienced in what it is I do for the state. So
Well, nice, man. Well, like I said, awesome to hear that you're better and that things are going good, but shocking to hear that you had to deal with that episode. That is crazy. That is crazy.
actually, it's probably the best thing that happened to me. I mean, it really makes you think.
Yeah.
It really makes you think about what does everything mean. I mean, just having good friends around, see somebody such as yourself, being able to talk to somebody I met, what, 3, 4 years ago. I mean, hell, you didn't even put the first pillars in when I met you for
I
for
hadn't.
the cabin.
Yeah, I hadn't.
And although we're not, able to walk out the door and see each other in an hour, you got good friends.
It is, man. Awesome. Very cool. Let me get over here and see a couple of comments that I got. Okay, Sean. So your wood stove pipe that will have that part before the U joint or whatever it's called that collects part of the black ick that you clean out in the summer, like what Lisette has. Um, I don't know who Lisette is, but so I could describe for you how a through the wall kit works. So imagine a T, right? And we're going to use this since it's Christmas. We're going to use candy canes to describe this. Okay, so this is outside, right? This is outside of the building. So this short part here runs into the building. This other part runs into the pipe, and then you have the pipe going up to the vent on the very top, and then you have the pipe ending down like right about right about here, say, down below, and there's a screw cap on there so that you can open the cap and you can run your um, chimney sweep from the bottom or the top. Running it through the bottom, you're going to be a mess. You're going to be a soot mess when you're done. Running it through the top is always still going to be an easier way to do it, but it makes it to the point where when I go to clean it, I won't have to actually be on the roof. So if that's what Lisette has, that's what I have.
Now, did I miss the fact that you got your wood stove?
I do have the wood stove, and the hole. So if you look over my
Yeah,
shoulder,
I see that.
yeah, I just punched the hole through the wall. But the wood stove is, and I get people asking about it all the time. So let's see if I can. The wood stove is right there.
Okay. I was
Right?
kind of thinking more of an old-fashioned pot belly for you, but
Yeah, no. For me, the big deal was one of the definite must-haves for me with a wood stove was I needed glass on the front because I want to see the flames.
no, I can see that. There is something just relaxing about those flames.
There is, right? It's crazy, crazy relaxing. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. Right? You beat the odds. Buy a lottery ticket, man. You were very lucky.
You know what? I think I beat. I spent all my luck. Yeah, I beat the odds not only with the heart attack, but the survival rate after. Because 1 in 5 actually pass away within 30 days of having that heart attack.
Wow.
So I beat the odds twice. I did buy a Powerball ticket, and unfortunately, I did not win, but it's all good.
Well, maybe you used all that luck just getting to the point to buy the Powerball ticket, right?
Right? I'm happy. I'm happy with the payout that I got.
Yeah, I
I'll
can't.
be honest with that.
I can't see how you wouldn't be. That is freaking awesome, man. That is awesome. Michael and Tammy, Nave, awesome to see you guys. Merry Christmas as well. Destiny says, Granddad used to say, when it's your time to go, you get taken out by a paper cut. When it's not, a rock can fall on you and you can survive. That's a nice way to look at it, right?
Yeah. And that's really true, actually.
Right. Bill at Alaska's Last Frontier Homestead, just popping in for a second. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you as well, Bill. And O'Brien, Merry Christmas to you from Wexford, Ireland. Everyone from Wexford, I had a wonderful day. I hope your Christmas was wonderful as well. You guys are at the tail end of yours over there in Ireland, though, now. Ah, Brother Will, Merry Christmas from the other side of the berm. You missed me opening your present, Brother Will. I'm going to give myself a haircut when the live's over today. That should be interesting.
Make sure you cut your hair on a very sunny day.
Why do you? Oh, so you can find the hair when it falls?
Well, that, and you might have to pull out some solar panels to boost up that generator.
See, the nice thing is when your hair gets this silver and it falls on the floor, it's pretty easy to find.
Well, I have no hair. Well, I have hair, but it's about to get to be no hair.
Right. I mean, that's
I'm about to have a solar panel.
I've already got the solar panel. Now I just need to clean up the sides a bit. Oh, man. Wonderful, wonderful day.
It is, actually. I think Milo is back there chilling. He's getting ready to throw on some ribeyes. Not too much longer. I think one for me, one for Milo, and one for Milo.
Nice, nice. Brother Will got himself a clay pigeon launcher and clay pigeons, so get the shotgun ready. I got shells, brother. You tell me when we're going shooting, and I'm there. Destiny wants to know if the front door of the cabin faces south. Couldn't remember. Actually, so this wall here of the cabin is more south, right? So that would be west with north behind me, and then east would be back towards the kitchen. So one of the things I noticed is the last place for the snow to melt on the property seems to be behind where the cabin sits, and that's been that way ever since I've cut the pad in. So when I cut the pad in originally, it was a couple of years before I started building. it always melted towards the front first, and the back part always melted last. So I kind of pointed it this way for the maximum sunlight, and then I've decided I'm not putting solar panels on the roof. Instead, I'm going to put the solar panels on mounts that are raised up, so that I can keep the roof snow free, so I don't have to worry about any damage happening to the roof.
Yeah, it's still a long time for your favorite part, where to return, where it's the rain that you hear on that metal roof.
You know, so the after I got the insulation in the ceiling and I got the I got so I had that done early, and then I had the metal put on the roof this summer, late summer. Uh, and then we had some pretty good rainstorms. Because I've got R30 in the ceiling, I didn't really hear that much of the rain pounding on the
Oh
ceiling,
wow.
which was, I mean, I heard some, but it was kind of surprising because I was expecting that deluge, that pounding, sending me off to sleep. But in the reality of it, it was just a soft sound on it, which was just as good. I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of nice when you don't have neighbors blaring music, until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and
Right.
like you said, you can actually hear yourself think.
Yeah, it's if it's anything here, it's nice and peaceful. It's nice and quiet. I haven't heard probably. I mean, I haven't heard an airplane or anything in probably 2 or 3 weeks, but I haven't heard anything on this property that was super loud, except like I said, when the next door neighbors are up for that couple of weeks in July. But at that time of year, I'm so busy outdoor doing stuff that I'm making noise too. So
Right.
it's nothing. It's not like, okay, I really wish it'd be quiet so I can kick back now, because I'm either working or I'm sleeping, or I'm gone and working in town. So, uh, for having people around me and having lots around me like this, it's a pretty peaceful place. Kevin Wright from Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Got to watch a football game. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you as well. Who are you rooting for in football today? I think the Niners are playing. I don't know, the Cardinals. Let's see who we got here. NFL
Well,
scores.
I can definitely tell you that Milo's favorite team is the Dallas Cowboys and anybody that's playing the Cardinals.
Oh, nice. It looks like the Raiders are up 20-14 over Kansas City. I thought for sure that the Raiders scored all their points in their last game. I thought they weren't going to score any more points this season, because that was a ridiculous, crazy game. So today we have the New York Giants against the Eagles. I got to root for the Eagles because that's my brother Bart's team. And then the Ravens and the 49ers. And even though the rest of my family are all diehard Niner fans, I can't root for them. But I can't really root for the Ravens either. I'm a Vikings fan. So, my season's pretty much over anyway. My season's
Never,
usually over the second week of the year.
never did get much into football. I mean, I played it, but the only football I enjoyed was college, and that was Nebraska football. And that's the other thing I miss about the 80s. I mean, Nebraska football was such a damn powerhouse back then.
Right.
Oh, I miss those.
Yeah, college ball has always been fun. When I was a kid growing up, obviously it was because I'm Irish. It was Notre Dame. I just love Notre Dame. And then I was really into football for quite a few years, until all of a sudden it got silly, and it wasn't about the sport as much as it was about everything else. And I just said, I'm done. Kind of baseball did that to me as well. Um, and it seemed like every couple of seasons they'd go on strike, and I was like, I just want to watch baseball. You guys, please handle this stuff in the regular season. And I'm a union guy. I belong to a union. I've belonged to unions my whole life. But I'm like, I just want to see somebody pitch the friggin' ball. But baseball, everybody in my family is pretty much a Giants fan. We all are. Merry Christmas, Lipstick Lodge. Good to see you. Get the generator. Mine's fired up right now, topping everything off. Sean, the headboard on the porch, isn't that going to get ruined by the snow? The headboard is now on the side of the cabin, Junior. I moved it off of the porch, but it's pretty dense wood. I don't think it's going to really be bothered. It's not getting wet. It's just getting frozen, if that makes sense. So if it was raining and it was out in the rain, I would be very concerned. But because it's just got snow on it, I can walk out there right now and dust it off. It's underneath the eave of the roof, so it doesn't have any snow buildup on it, just the dust, and it's fine. I don't know that I'll ever use that headboard for the bed. The problem with it is that if I do, I'd have to put the headboard on this end away from the windows because I like reaching up and being able to crank the window open while I'm sleeping. Right? Hey, Ray Hindy's got a comment here. Love the Steelers and Broncos of the 80s. Milo on the ready. I'm from South Bend, Indiana, so I'm a Notre Dame fan too. Look at this, built on the rock. I once stayed in a motel room that was decorated in 49ers theme. Photos of player on the walls, lockers for the nightstands, other tacky stuff. To top it off, found 2 Black Widow spiders moved rooms. That's crazy. Boy, it used to, I don't know, when I grew up, uh, you know, Thanksgiving was always Detroit against somebody and Dallas against somebody, right? I think those were the 2 teams that always seemed to play. Detroit and Dallas played on Thanksgiving Day. It's to me, it's new to have football on Christmas because I thought Christmas was either hockey or NBA, but we never watched sports on Christmas. On Christmas, it was always Christmas. That's all it was about.
Yeah, that's the other good thing about the old Christmases back in the day. We had, of course, Nebraska had its rivalry, which was Oklahoma.
Right.
There were actually songs made and played on the radio. Nebraska would score 50 points and just give Oklahoma one because we felt bad for them.
Oh my God. Yeah, and that was it too. College ball back in the 80s. I mean, I would be betting guys that would come in. We'd just be joking, right? And we'd get the spreads, and we'd bet like $1 a game. And I would be betting on, say, the Jayhawks, Kansas, and I would give somebody 64 points and win on a football bet. Because man, the powerhouses back then were just unbelievably powerful.
Yeah, they
On to it,
definitely
Austin.
were.
Merry Christmas to you. Glad you could pop in for today. I hope you have a fantastic day.
So built on the rock, she could deal with the 2 Black Widows. It was the 49ers gear that put her over the top.
I think that was it. Lucy Valian, you're much better than I am. I could learn more, but I like the old fashioned. I like the old fashioned way myself. Destiny Fitzgerald, was there a reason for putting the wood stove on the west wall, like wind reasons or storm direction reasons? Just curious. So for me, it was because I knew that this wall really wasn't going to have anything on it. And when I was up in the loft, I wanted that on the open part. I knew that I was going to have a loft in the back of the cabin. I wanted that on the open so that heat would freely flow up to the loft. So that's why it's basically in the very front of the cabin. Looking back at it, I don't know that I would do it any differently. The other thing is that when a chimney comes out, like if I put it on this wall or I put it on the wall behind me, when the chimney comes out and goes up, you also have to take into consideration snow shedding off your roof. And with a 9/12 pitch, even though I don't get a lot of snow, that's happen is you can get that buildup of snow behind it, and when it runs down the roof, it can tear your chimney off, and then you have to do a bunch of other stuff on the roof itself to protect the pipe from that. And I just didn't want to deal with that. Built on the rock, Black Widow on the bed was the final straw. CK wants to know if I've got any New Year's plans. It's almost 2024. This year did fly by, man. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Hang on one second, Steve. I'll get you up. New Year's for me is basically what I like to call amateur night. I don't do anything. I stay home. I work New Year's Day because we are open that day, and it's a Monday this year. But I haven't gone out on New Year's Eve, and I can't tell you how long. So that's not really a big, big thing for me. Steve, welcome.
Hey, welcome. Merry Christmas from Maine.
Merry Christmas from Funny River, Alaska. I like the tree in the background there. Awesome.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas from Mesa, Arizona.
Hey, how you doing, buddy? Glad you're on the mend.
Oh, well, you know, and life is life.
Ward. So,
I
anything
tried.
special for you this holiday? What about what popped out to you this year, Steve, on Christmas?
We just did the family thing at my sister's. Unfortunately, my brother had the the sickness again, so he couldn't make it.
Oh
But
no.
my sister has a big get together with all the nephews and nieces and brothers and sisters, and it's pretty fun.
Right
Uh,
on.
Not much else. I took today off. Usually we work almost all the holidays where I work, so took it off. Didn't really have anything special planned today, but just kind of wanted to relax and enjoy Christmas by myself. Good to
Kind
see
of
you
a
on,
nice
though.
deal. I look forward to it. I mean, it's so peaceful. It's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I, like many other people, kind of look forward to Sean's first live of the year. Now we know winter is actually amongst us.
Yeah, it starts. They usually start. Well, they can start anytime around October or November, but they usually end right around May. You know, when everything thaws out and everybody starts fishing, and then all the internet signal just gets jammed up down here, and I can't really do a live anymore. So I just go, well, I'm gonna get too busy anyway. That's it. We're done for the season.
Well, one time when you get your grandkids up there, you can take them to North Pole, Alaska.
Then go up there and see the Santa Claus house. Meet the man, the myth, the legend himself.
Just don't try to mail anything from there. I mean, you can just imagine how busy that post office is.
I did, and it was super cool because you could get. My youngest daughter, Ashley, and I were there in 2011. So I'd had carpal tunnel surgery before I moved up, and so I was off work for like 6 weeks. So we came up to Alaska for the last half of that, and I wanted to do some fishing, and I figured by the end of it I'd be healthy enough to fish again. But then we traveled like the loop. We went up to Tok, and then we went through Fairbanks, and then went back down and stayed at Denali. Did the whole park thing. Ashley Anderson, have a wonderful day. Thanks for popping in. If you get a chance to pop back in later, by all means do so. If not, I understand. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Anyway, so we stopped in North Pole at the Santa Claus house. And while we were there, they had a letter that you could send saying you weren't getting anything for Christmas from Santa. You were getting coal because you were on the naughty list. So we sent that to her sister.
Well, hell, from what I understand, getting cold living in Alaska, you're on the super duper good list.
Well, yeah, but she was in California. She was in California. Let me grab something to drink here real quick. I shall be right back. Oh.
He doesn't have to go very far to get a cold one. I mean, just open the door.
It's too early for that.
Well, I forget, you're, 2 or 3 hours behind us here.
Yeah, right now it is just after 12 noon. It's 12:11 p.m.
Okay,
right
so yeah, 2 hours.
4:11 in Maine.
Ward, remember what happened last year? What happened last year, Ward? A lot of things happened last year, Ward. Be specific.
Well, hey, I'm going to jump off the camera and just kind
Right
of
on,
lurk.
Steve. Thank you very much for joining us up here today. Merry Christmas to you and your family. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful New Year.
Thanks. Good seeing you. Bye.
Are you, oh, okay. I thought he was going to stick around, just not be on camera.
Oh no. He was gonna bounce off.
I'd be on camera, but yeah, my camera's not working yet. I gotta fix it.
I got this. I bought this a while back, and it's super cool. And I don't think I can really show you. Can I show you? No, I can't really get it. I can't get it to reflect itself. But it's just a little Logitech webcam, and it works great.
Yeah, Logitechs are pretty good. I went the cheap route and just bought, some Walmart China special. Worked great for a year.
Yeah, I think they're all China specials now. Yeah, that was awesome. Kiri's talking about. I love I love the snow sliding off the roof during the live stream. So last
Oh
year,
yeah.
oh, that's right. Maybe that's what Ward's talking about.
Yeah, I remember that.
Ward and I were in here underneath live from the cabin underneath the scaffolding, and the one side of the cabin shed, and the house shook a bit, and then the other side shed, and man, I thought the house was falling down.
Well, at least now you know you built a sturdy structure.
Yeah, I mean, and it doesn't. That was probably a foot and a half of snow on top of the roof. Then I don't think like it shed last night. I don't know when, but we have I don't know maybe 2 feet of snow on the ground out there right now, and I don't get more than 6 inches of buildup on that roof before it sheds, which is super awesome.
Nice.
Ray, Merry Christmas to you, man. Glad you can make it. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful Christmas, the rest of Christmas, and a Happy New Year to you as well. Kevin saying the Giants and the Eagles playing a little bit here. You believe the Eagles will win, Kevin. Yep, I hope you're right, man. I know my brother will be a happy man. Nobody wants to talk to my brother if the Eagles if they lose, because he is miserable. He is miserable. Linda at Lipstick Lodge says it's 4:11 in South River, Ontario. So you are 4 hours difference from me in Ontario. Okay. That's been one of the craziest things since I started doing the whole YouTube and going live is, like yesterday I was live and I have like 4 or 5 viewers from Ireland that when I'm live, they pop in that are just, it's awesome, but it's midnight there. And I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
that is cool.
Well, not to mention, it's got to suck being in Alaska because you can't celebrate New Year's Day at the same time the rest of the country. The only other one that's screwed out of that is Hawaii.
Right? But like I said, New Year's is not a big deal for me. It's more of I think New Year's for me has always been more of, as I got older. When I was younger, obviously it was parties. But as I got older, it's been more of a day of reflection because you're like, okay, what am I going to get done this year? What are my big goals that I want to make happen?
All right.
Lipstick Lodge just bought an Audio Technical turntable. Don't watch TV, so music is your thing. Very cool. And you're near Algonquin Park, so peeps can get an idea of where you're at. Nice. That's a pretty area. That's a pretty area. Peggy Garcia from Ohio. Wish you and family a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Be safe and God bless. Wish I had some of that snow. Merry Christmas to you as well. I was talking to Brother Will about that earlier today about the lack of snow in the northern states in California, and I got to imagine also for Canada. I think you guys are going to probably get hit with a late winter because I cannot imagine snow not falling in the lower 48. I cannot imagine that happening. So I would think that, and I've seen it happen. It happened when I was younger. Where we would go most of the winter without much snow at all, and then January, February, everybody just gets buried in snow. Hopefully, it's not that, but it's coming. You guys will get your snow.
See, that's kind of another good thing about me not going to Alaska and staying in the desert Southwest. I get tired shoveling heat. God knows what's going to happen if I start shoveling snow.
You got a point there. For me, I always had to move to Alaska because I could always put something else on if it was cold, but eventually you get to the point where if you take anything else off, you're going to go to jail. So,
well, depending upon where you live,
Yeah, this is crazy, right? I once sold a couple of goats to someone who was in multiple flat Earth groups. I can understand someone back in the 60s believing the Earth is flat, but today with satellites and internet, I don't understand how people in the 1860s would have believed the Earth was flat. Just from looking at a horizon, I don't understand how you could not understand that there's a curve there. How you could be looking at a horizon in water, and then all of a sudden a boat appears. Well, where'd the boat come from? Well, it was past the line on the horizon. It was past the curvature of the Earth. So and you look at the moon, and the moon is round. So how could you not? Yeah, I've never understood that kind of stuff.
I'm thinking a lot of the flat earthers, the reason they're flat earthers is because of too many pharmacological ingredients in their childhood.
That could be it. That could be it. Steve G, no white Christmas here in Maine. We had floods last week though, and winds that felt like a hurricane. We had about a 1.5 days without power and internet. We had some pretty good winds. We had an avalanche in my area, but there was a couple of them. We've had a lot of snow this year. So I'm a big fan of the Farmer's Almanac. I think it's probably 9 times out of 10 more accurate than the local weather forecast. And they had said we were going to be warmer, and I automatically assumed that if we're going to have warmer temperatures in my part of Alaska this winter, then we're probably going to have more snow because one of the things about Alaska is it can get to the point where it gets too cold to snow. And by that, I mean that the air won't hold the moisture required for the clouds to basically release moisture. So when it gets super, super cold, usually January, February, we don't get the snowfall that we would normally get in November or December because the temperatures are getting too cold. But this year, I don't know what's going to happen. It'll be interesting to see how much we get.
Steve, a day and a half with no power or internet? How did the 30-year-old and youngers live?
Yeah, right, Brian? It's an El Nino winter. It is. And Merry Christmas, by the way. Oh, Ward, the generator. Yeah, when I was live on YouTube last year with the generator and it decided to detonate on me.
That's a question I do have with you is the generator. You're using gas. Why not like propane?
So I looked at dual fuel generators. So when my generator blew up last year, I wanted a generator as quickly as possible. And I wanted something that would be much more portable than what I had. So I had a 4,500, 90 or 7,500, 9,500 watt Westinghouse with a remote start, but you couldn't just pull it in the house, push it out the house, pull it in the house, push it out the house whenever you wanted to use it because it was too big. So I took the opportunity to buy the Honda 2200i suitcase generator. And like literally when I'm done using it today, I will walk out there and turn it off. I will close the gas vent on top. I will pick it up, carry it in, and leave it in the cabin so that it stays warm. Because I think a lot of the issue I had with the Westinghouse was due to wear and tear from the really cold weather starts that I had.
Right. So I just picked up a generator at the local pawn shop, and it's nothing special or fancy. It's just a little Harbor Freight thing.
Right.
I think it's 5,000 watts, which is more than enough. I mean, for me. And for Milo to power this mobile home.
Right.
So, and one of the things I'm like, I looked into it. I'm like, oh, wait, they make a remote start kit for this. They make a multi-fuel carburetor kit for it. I might have to do that, just saying that for me anyways, especially since my truck has been out and I haven't replaced it. Propane's a hell of a lot easier to store than it is to store gasoline, especially for a long-term period.
Right. Yeah, propane doesn't, from everything I've read, propane doesn't lose anything with long-term storage, where gasoline, and that's why I usually don't have more than 10 gallons on hand here at the cabin at any time, because I know I'll go through that quickly enough. But gasoline over long-term storage without additives, the fuel's gonna go bad on you.
Yeah, exactly.
I can get a propane conversion for this as well for the Honda, but I'll wait and maybe look at doing something like that down the road.
I was just curious, why you chose gas over propane.
Yeah, it was just for me. It was just ease of use more than anything else. And I've used generators with gasoline fuel pretty much, most of my adult life at one point or another. But I'd never used a propane one before, so I didn't really know anything about them. Talking to people who have them now, though, because now I'm in that lifestyle where, I kind of depend on a generator during the winter to keep everything charged up. It's something that I would look at doing in the future. I would look at definitely going with a dual fuel generator. I wouldn't go with a strictly propane, but a dual fuel generator in the future would probably be something that I would be interested in doing.
Now, Lipstick's asking electricity. What's that?
Yeah, she's off grid too.
Isn't she the one that just bought a new turntable? Oh, I'm sorry. It must have been one of those hand cranked ones. Okay,
No, she's
those newfangled ones.
yeah, she's off grid. She's talking about she doesn't have electricity connected to her place either. So she's solar and generator and batteries as well. Yeah, me, I mean, I don't have electricity running my place, but I have, the laptop here, got a 32-inch monitor here, I've got the Christmas tree lit over here, so there's so much you can do without electricity now. It's crazy because the systems that you use to power stuff are so much more efficient now, and then the things that you are powering are so much more efficient than they were in the past.
Yeah. Definitely no big boom boxes with 13 double D batteries next year. You remember those?
Oh God, yes. I have somewhere it's sitting around here. I'll show it real quick. Here it is. So I got these. This is like an Alaskan essential, right? It's just a headlamp, and it's got
Right.
4 settings. It's got a high, a low, a red, and a red flashing. And the red is what we use when we're outside doing, night photography and stuff because it won't mess with the it won't mess with the camera. But my buddy Will was over the other day and he goes, "Dude, you still have that?" Because he gave me 2 of these when he was working at the parts store. He got a bunch of extra ones. He goes, "Here, man, help yourself," because they're GM part AC Delco things. I had to replace the batteries for the first time in like 3 or 4 years
Wow.
this year. I mean, they because they're LED and they require almost no power whatsoever. It's crazy how well they run.
And the amount of light those things do put out, boy.
Oh yeah, they're bright. Right? There's the low setting, the other one was the high, then the red, and then the flashing red.
Milo was testing his light for his bike the other day, and I looked right at him right when he turned it on. I went blind for like 5-10 minutes.
All right, Steve's saying, I watch a ton of solar content on YouTube and eventually want to get a system for backup and trying to learn more about it. Help my brother get a decent setup when he gets moved into his cabin. For me, I think the biggest challenge for anybody who wants to go on solar is before you even decide what you need, you have to decide what you're going to use. What are you going to run? So the original plans for this place were everything was off grid. I was going to have maybe 1 or 2 plugs, and that was it. 110 outlets, and that was it. But then as I looked at a couple of other things, and Todd, my neighbor across the street, who helped a lot with the roof work, and he's helped a ton on this build in general. Todd is 100% off grid as well. And so we started looking at what it costs to run modern freezers and refrigerators. And they are so energy efficient now that I've gone from I'm going to buy the propane unique refrigerator, unique stove and stuff, and just go to a household refrigerator inside here that requires 110. And then at that point, once you know what you're going to use in the way of watts per day, you can then size your battery system. And once you size your battery system, then you can realize what you need in the way of solar panels to keep that battery system topped off. Now, for me in Alaska, I can go a little smaller on my solar array because I have so much abundance of sunlight in the months when I have sunlight. But I am always going to have to run a generator because I have so little daylight in the months that I have no sunlight, if that makes sense. So it doesn't matter how big I oversize my array. For solar, I don't have the sun. Right now we're on the other direction where we're starting to gain daylight hours, and we're still at like 6 hours of sunlight total a day. Well, that counts for an hour in the beginning as the sun's coming up and an hour in the evening as the sun's coming down. And now you've got 4 hours of sunlight, and it's low horizon sunlight. So you're not, unless it's a really clear day, you're not picking up enough to charge anything. So I'm going to always have to fire a generator up in winter. The negative part of this is that during the summer, right, when I have all the abundance of power that I would ever need from sunlight, I'm not inside to use it because you're outside doing stuff because you know that you only have a short window to get it all done. So it's kind of a
Uh,
catch-22. I think
The
the
best
perfect
thing for
mix.
you out there, though, is
Yeah,
especially during the winter time. The best thing for you is you really don't need a freezer. Just
right,
set it outside.
and that's what
Build
I
a
do.
little box.
I've got two ice chests, and what I'll do is I'll put one ice chest out on the deck, and I'll throw frozen stuff in there. And I work at a grocery store, so I don't have to store a lot of stuff. I can pick it up during the week while I'm at work. But you have to be careful too that if your temperature comes up, that stuff's going to thaw out on you, and it can fluctuate. Like I don't expect it to be warm that much above freezing between now and the end of February. But again, I have to pay attention to that on a regular basis, or else I'm going to get surprised and I'm going to lose everything that I have. So Lipstick Lodge is saying, my friend fixed my charge controller. What a difference! It actually charges you. Nice, nice. Charges the batteries now. Very cool. Curmudgeon, watch out for the free fridge freezers. They have auto defrost. It uses a lot of power, and that's true. So, that's all stuff that I would have to take into consideration. I am going to go with a regular household refrigerator. Like I said, for multiple reasons. One is the cost is so much cheaper than buying an off-grid one. And I'm going to go with a regular commercial propane, or not commercial, residential propane stove, but I'm going to go with a battery ignition because I can buy a battery ignition stove. So the big deal with stoves that I don't think a lot of people understand is, sure, you have a propane stove in your house, and when the power goes out, you can use a lighter to light the burners on the top, but you can't use the oven. And with the way that stoves are built nowadays, the igniter for the oven is electronic. So without the 110 power going into that oven, you can't the oven won't stay lit. So there's really no pilot light per se like there was in the older stoves. Instead, it's the electronic ignition kicks on, it releases the fuel. So it won't even release the fuel if you don't have power. But you can buy from many of the box stores, the big box hardware stores, you can buy battery ignition ranges, which is what I'm looking at getting. I could pick one of those up for about $650 up here for a nice big stove with a big oven, and a 4-burner propane top. Like I said, for about $650, whereas the same size stove from an off-grid company would cost me close to $2,000. So, it doesn't make, and all it takes to ignite that oven is a 9-volt battery that will last for many ignitions. So to me, that's a no-brainer. As far as the refrigeration goes, while the off-grid refrigerators are pretty incredible, they maintain the temperatures, the freezers work well. They do require propane, so you're going to pay for that. And they are smaller cubic foot wise than what the normal refrigeration and freezers are. So I would really just have to watch the auto defrost cycle or see if there's a way to circumvent that. Milo on the ready. When I build my cabin, I'm going to run a 12 volt for the lighting system, which is what I did, run directly from the battery instead of getting an inverter. So I will eventually be building a panel for all of my 12 volt stuff with its own circuit breaker running from the batteries as well. The inverter will be for the 110 outlet for the refrigerator, and I think that's the only real 110 item that I'm going to have. CK says, my husband and I stay home for New Year's Eve too. It's safer at home. It definitely is. Robert at Curmudgeon, at Milo on the Ready, we run 24 volt lights in our place. Works great. And 24 volt is a lot more efficient than 12 volt. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Robert, but it's a little more difficult to find. I think you have to special order everything that you need for your system, right? You can't just walk into a store and buy something that's 24 volt, generally speaking, without going to a specialty store. Whereas I can still find 12 volt stuff in regular retail outlets, if that makes sense. Ward's popping in and saying propane's a lot more expensive here than in the lower 48. I pay $3.39 a gallon for propane up here right now. I don't know what it costs in the lower 48. So you guys that buy propane, chime in and let me know what you're paying for it. It's a lot cheaper than it was even a year ago, though. Elva Cartwright, Merry Christmas to you and yours from the Bahamas. Awesome. I'm just answering some comments here right now, Fat Man.
Oh no, you're good.
You just need to hibernate in the winter, Sean, to maximize the power you can get from the summer sun. The bears are onto something.
There have been days I wished I could hibernate.
Oh, yeah, me too. This next 3 days, I don't know how much I'm going to get done, but I'll tell you what, it's going to be relaxing. Linda at Lipstick Lodge, I'm actually getting batteries charged from ambient light. Nice, nice. You've got a nice system, Linda. She says, I charge my phone battery and now shut off my inverter after it's done. That's so I have, and I kind of pointed that out in the last video that I did. There was a lot of, I don't know how much is going to be in this next one either, because these last 2 weeks have been kind of busy for me. But I have a little 400 watt pure sine wave power inverter that I use to recharge my, I've got it in there right now, my power brick that constantly recharges my cell phone, right? So, matter of fact, I can probably unplug that now. So my cell phone's always got 80% plus charge on it because of that little power brick, and that's what the extra batteries are for. And I'm just using car batteries. I haven't spent the money yet, but eventually I'd like to get into the lithium iron phosphate batteries because the downdraw of power from those is so much better and so much more efficient than the lead acid or the AGM batteries.
Yes, but I think one of the biggest issues you have in being in Alaska is the extreme cold with lithium. Lithium does not do well with extreme cold.
Right. So lithium does absolutely terrible with cold temperatures, but being as my bank will be in the cabin, they'll be warm. And that was, so I had to look at because there's a lot of folks that will store, lead acid is awesome. Again, I always refer to them, it seems like, on every live video that I do, but Simple Living Alaska has forever, when they were in their first place, their batteries were stored outside, and lead acid batteries stored outside the cabin in an insulated box, but still getting the cold temperatures, did fantastic. Lithium would not have worked there because they will not charge below, let's say 72 degrees Fahrenheit. They have a temperature sensor in there that just says nope, because anything below that temperature will literally destroy that battery. And that's an awful lot of money to throw away because you charged it wrong. But being inside with the batteries, I think I shouldn't have any issues whatsoever, because, I mean, it's by no means is it warm in here, but upstairs right now is 70 and downstairs is 68. So yeah, I don't think that's going to be an issue. And it's just going to get warmer as I finish closing walls in, and, you know, it's just going to add another thermal barrier all the way around as I finish closing everything off. And Robert's chiming in, you can order 12 volt and 24 volt bulbs on Amazon. Amazon is pretty much the go-to for most of the 12 volt stuff, or let's just say the solar stuff that I've seen so far, because their selection is so huge, it's crazy. So my lighting in my kitchen and the lighting in the pantry are all 12 volt RV lights that are adjustable from 25% light output to 100% light output, and they run forever. And they draw very, very little power, but they're super bright. But there's such a selection on Amazon, it's hard to beat them. Steve G, I helped my cousin set up solar about 15 years ago, and we wired everything like a traditional house, even though we fed half the panel with 12 volt and half with 24 volt. All the lighting was 24 volt. Nice, nice. Hey, Steve, what are you doing? You want to come to Alaska and help a guy wire a cabin? Karen's chiming in. Sean, since I'm off a few days and weekends, can I go take pictures so I can get me a calendar for 2025? I've done a calendar every year for the last couple of years, and honestly, when I looked at the pictures that I took this last year, there were a ton of pictures with Sean in them, but there were very few pictures of Alaska like I like to take. And so a very good friend of mine, I always show her the calendar before I do anything, and she says, hey, do this or do that. We've been friends for years. She said, well, you need to do this, you need to do that, and, you know, you need more of these pictures, more. And I told her, look, I'm not putting Sean in Alaska in the calendar. It's not, the calendar's about Alaska, but it's Sean in Alaska that sells the calendars. So I didn't get enough pictures taken to do a calendar this year.
Oh, come on. You know, Sean in Alaska in a kilt, you know, straddly dress.
My goal this year, and that's because the last 12 months have been just gangbusters, go, 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 go with the cabin. But my goal this next year is to, by all means, get out and get more of Alaska under my belt because this is a beautiful state and I want to see as much of it as I can. So, yes, there will be a calendar for next year. Not for next year, but next year I will do a calendar. I will get it done early and it'll be available probably around October. And there will be some incredible pictures. I can promise you that, Karen. Steve G again. It was set up to easily switch the fixtures over to normal power if you sold the home. That makes sense. That makes sense. Use a lot of power strips, turn off parasitic loads like the satellite receiver, TV, VCR. Very, and I have power strips set up on the floor for different stuff in here now that just comes off of my 1800 watt OPS power station, portable power station. So it makes it nice. It's a big difference. You'd be surprised how many items use power that you, when they're off, that you think they shouldn't be using any power at all, but they're still drawing. Robert at Curmudge Inn. Our lithium will charge down to 32. If idle, they're good to be stored at -5. See, so that, I mean, even the science on lithium is growing every day. Broussard Homestead. Brett, how you doing, brother? Merry Christmas to you and your family. It is awesome to see you. These are great folks. These are wonderful people, the folks at Broussard. And there's Amy, his lovely wife. Amy, Merry Christmas to you as well. Great to see you guys. I pop in when you're live a lot of times. When I'm home doing stuff, I just don't chat as much because I don't know how long I'm going to be there, but I love to get in there and see you guys. Scrolling down through here. Steve G, I went to Fairbanks for almost a week 20 years ago. Beautiful area. Fairbanks is gorgeous. I love the interior. I love the interior. Here's a great point for anybody who's looking to go off-grid or even looking to do just some minor items off-grid in their house. And Robert knows what he's talking about here at Curmudgeon. I modeled our electric system like sailboats. All lights are DC voltage and very little on AC. The inverter is only 3 kilowatts. They run a fridge and 2 large freezers with no issues at all. So he knows what he's talking about here. Years and years on boats. And if you look at a lot of the stuff that you can buy for 12 volt and 24 volt systems, most of the good stuff that I've seen comes from marine companies because they've been doing this for years. And it's really efficient. And again, like during the summer, I don't need to run any lights in the cabin at all. And during the winter, I do. But I can tell you that the single 12 volt battery that's still in that fifth wheel trailer with 3 18-inch LED strip lights, I haven't charged since March of this year. Has not been on a charger at all since I moved into this cabin. I walk in there and I still turn the lights on. The lights still work after 9 months with no charge on that battery. So that should tell you everything you need to know about lighting. Mike McKinley, Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Awesome to see you today. You don't do Christmas anymore. It's for the kids. That's kind of where I'm at, man. Right? Christmas is, I love everything about it. I love the music. I love the traditions. I love the tree. I love the food. But the big celebrations for kids. Dave, last propane bill was $3.69 a gallon in Western Maine. So not much cheaper than, or shoot, it's more expensive than I'm paying right now, but that's delivered. So for me, it's $3.39 if I pick it up at Kenai Feed, if I take my bottles there and have them filled up. I don't know what it would cost to have it delivered. Amy, great to see you. The cabin's looking great. One day I'll be able to see it in person and go get you some salmon. You guys come up in July and we'll go salmon fishing for sure. For sure. Definitely. Robert, I'll be building a 24-volt fridge system in a year or so. It will be vented out to the outside so I can use cold air from outside to keep it cool in winter to save power. That makes sense. One of the early videos I watched, and I don't watch a lot of his videos, and I don't know why. I just really never got into him. But Boss of the Swamp had a cooler that he built in his place that was a refrigerator basically, and it refrigerated without outside air. And I thought it was a super cool design when I saw how he did it. And I kind of thought about doing something like that on my end as well. But I think my problem right now that I can't get past is that it's either 37 degrees outside or it's 20 degrees below zero. And I don't know how I would control the stuff being cold or frozen. So
That could provide some challenges.
right?
I mean, beer is great cold, but frozen not so much.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of beer sickles. I'm not a fan of beer sickles. Yeah, so here, Robert's seen it too. It's a design he's seen a lot in the Northeast. So I don't know if a design like that would work in Alaska, but I'm open to trying anything. I mean, I never built a cabin before, and that worked. So let's see what else we can do. And then yeah, use the sliding gate to adjust the airflow. But what happens when I go to work at 3:30 in the morning, 3:15 in the morning, I leave the house, and it's 25, say, and while I'm at work, the temperature drops to 10 below zero. there's no one here to adjust the gate. Marine Company actually sells the 4 to 6 inch tube for your UPIC wood stove. It's probably originally a marine stove, I would imagine.
Well, I'm gonna jump down and jump back into regular chat. So,
Alrighty, perfect. I'll share the link again if anybody wants to come up. Brett or Amy, if you guys want to jump up here real quick, let me share the link again real quick. Or Robert, by all means, if you want to pop up. I know you're going live later on today too, so. Steve G is saying that $4.77 a gallon delivered for your propane when they filled it up in September. So wow, that's pricey. Man, that's expensive. Robert's saying if you insulate it well, just close it before you go to work. True, I could do that. But sometimes Sean still forgets to get propane. That's happened to me once so far being in the cabin, where I forgot to change the bottle before I left to go to work, and I came home and it was 20 degrees in the cabin. Ah! What else have I got here? Rob, welcome, brother. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Sean. How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Just relaxing, making phone calls, and listening to your chat, and getting ready to start cooking that duck.
Nice, man. Yeah, you're doing duck for dinner tonight. That's yummy. I love good duck.
Yeah, well, most people don't like because they say it's greasy, but if you cook it right, the grease comes out, and you don't have to worry about it so much.
Exactly. I did it at one time. We had the power go out at the old place that I lived in California. My kids were there, and all my nieces and nephews were freaking out. There's all this food, Uncle Sean. All this food's going to go to waste. And I said, well, let's pull it out and we'll cook dinner. And well, what do we cook on? I go, there's a wood stove right there. I go, we'll get cast iron pan, put it on the top of the wood stove. I pulled some duck out, and they're all, oh yeah, that's the duck my dad left here, because their dad had moved down to another house, because my brother and I were roommates at the time. And I said, well, we'll have duck then. And they go, oh no, I don't like it. And I go, oh, we'll figure. My daughters were looking at their cousins going, oh no, my dad will cook it. And I did the duck pan seared, and then I had some orange marmalade and some jalapenos, and made a spicy orange glaze for that stuff.
Yeah,
man, it was yummy.
Yeah, I'm going to do a balsamic honey glaze on it today.
Yeah, the sweetness, I think, makes a big difference when you're cooking duck.
It does. It really does. And a lot of people also don't score the top. If you just slice that skin, not the meat, just slice that skin, that helps a lot too, because it allows that grease to come out.
Right. It allows that grease to just separate through, or else it'll stay underneath that layer of skin.
Yep.
It's good. I think it's closer to, texture-wise, I think it's closer to turkey than it is to chicken. It's got a more firm, more firm, meaty flavor to it.
Yep, definitely.
Merry Christmas to you as well, Whipple One. Hope you have a joyous and prosperous new year as well, my friend. Oh, John, man, thank you very much. What does a cord of wood run around us? I don't know, anywhere from about $200 to $300, depending on what you're buying for a cord.
Woo. I think a cord cost me about $5 on fuel.
Well, that's, yeah. And if you're buying it, you're going to pay, but if you're cutting it, it's $5 and probably about 10 pounds of sweat and
yeah. Well, here we predominantly just burn spruce because we have so much standing dead wood here,
right.
And now the problem is I have to go further and further from the property to find it. you know, and because we want to do some building, you know, I've got to find some sizable trees to bring back for milling,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
you know, and it's getting harder and harder to get. Like as soon as we get, you know, another couple feet of snow, I can get up to the top of the mountain behind us and bring some down from up there. There's still stuff up there, you know, a foot or two across, but I mean, it's not easy to get down the hill. I mean,
So how
'cause
much
it's
snow have you guys got at your place now?
right now we're sitting right around 3 feet. At one point we had 4.5, then we had a week and a half of temperatures between 35 and 45. So
Right.
it melted down to about 14 inches, and now we're back up. So we're like I said, about 37 inches for on the ground, but our total right now is almost 8 feet
Wow, that's crazy. That
because
is
it
crazy.
comes and goes.
Yeah,
But we
that's
get
a
a
lot
little
of
bit
snow.
more snow than a lot of places too, because we're a little higher elevation. We get a lot more sun. So
Right.
we get that warmness. So when Talkeetna or even Willow and Wasilla are snowing or raining, we get the snow. You know, so but it's not a problem for us because that's how we get around is up here. I'd rather have snow than slush. You
Yeah,
know?
I'm with you. You know, I'd rather have the frozen moisture than have the wet moisture.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Because, you know, as you know, and some of the folks in here know, there are no roads here, and the only way we can get around is on snow machine or four wheelers.
So then, so kind of describe a little bit more like the process of you're in town, you pick up your groceries for the amount of period that you're going to pick them up, and then how do you get home and then get those groceries to your house? Because you are really a remote off-grid person in Alaska, whereas I'm on the road system. So kind of describe for folks what you have to go through.
Well, generally when we shop, we try to avoid Anchorage. I don't like the traffic down there. So we go down to Wasilla, do all our shopping, and then we have to be back. It depends on what it is. Summertime, the train leaves out of Talkeetna around 1:30, so we usually get back there around 11. They have these huge totes we load everything into, and we have everything already in the plastic totes you find at Walmart, Home Depot, stuff like that. And we load all that up, and we got to wait for the train. We get the train. We go about 14 miles north of town, and they kick us off the train in the middle of nowhere.
So they stop the train on the road for you so that you can get out.
Yep, right on the tracks. It's called the Flag Stop Service. It's one of two left in the world. Alaska has it, and I believe it's Switzerland has it.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So then
it was actually. Go ahead.
so then you get off the train, right? And
Yep.
you obviously have an area that you have staged with, if it's summer, your four-wheeler, if it's winter, your snow machine, right?
Yep, and we have an old freezer that's down there, and I just found out recently how it got there or why it got there. And then we have what we call the bear box. It's a lockable container. You know, we leave all our weaponry and stuff like that right there. That way we don't have to tote it around town, you know, because we're in a truck or in Airbnbs. So we don't want to have our stuff like that in there that's valuable that somebody can walk off with. So we just lock it in a box because nobody comes to our area. And
Right.
if they do, they're going to have problems. You know, we've only had one incident up here. But once we get the stuff there, you know, like in the wintertime, we load it up onto the trailer for the snow machine, and it's another mile to the property. And the last little bit is pretty much like this. So I have to keep the trails pretty well maintained to be able to get up and down. Twice now, last year and the year before, coming home after being in town, I've gotten stuck trying to get up the hills. And the first time was in 22. That was a really bad year. That year we had, just in February, we had over 10 foot. And I think we had, by that time that I got stuck, I think we had close to 17 feet of snow on the ground. But you know how it is here. It's this big, and then the next day it's this big. And you know, and it keeps going like this. And I was coming up the trail, and we have a split. We have the upper trail and then the lower trail. The upper trail is really steep, really quick, and the other one's more gradual. And I seen two moose down on the lower trail, so I said, "Oh, I'll go right and go up the upper trail." And mind you, we just had 4 feet of fresh snow, and I'm on my Tundra, which is a narrow track, pulling 300-400 pounds on a 10-foot trailer. I started going up, and here comes the moose coming down.
Oh.
I had to ditch off the side of the trail, and it's like this on both sides.
Right, right.
I got right about here, and I sunk down about 9 feet. It took us 3 days to pull that machine out of the snow.
Oh my
Because
God.
if I did it wrong, it would have just rolled down the hill.
Right.
You know, and that was this is a 2013 Tundra, and when we picked it up that same winter, it only had 340 miles on it. So I didn't want to damage it. And then the same spot last year, doing the same thing, I had the Scandic, knowing it was going to snow, coming up, and something happened, and the trailer kind of swung wide and went off the trail and stopped me. And I started sliding backwards. Luckily, by that time, I already learned my lesson. I went back to the house, and you remember the old high-low jacks for your cars, like a
Right.
Jeep? I went back to the house, got that, jacked it about 4 feet up, and just shoved it back onto the trail.
Nice.
But it is a real challenge being out here because you don't have a hardware store just to grab things from. That's why I'm going in town. We weren't going to go into town all this winter until we realized I was missing things to finish the house. Because, when we got here, this was just 4 walls and a roof.
Right.
And now it's almost finished. We got 2 rooms and I need a bunch of stuff. And it's like, I have to go to town because I can't send somebody else for stuff that I don't know if I'm going to be able to find myself.
Right.
So it's been a little bit of a challenge, but on the bright side, we do have like the Tundra truck that brings stuff up here and it makes it a lot easier to get stuff, the big things.
So what is a Tundra truck so that everybody else knows what you're talking about?
Picture a big tow truck with a boom crane on the back that rides on the rails.
Okay.
Basically, they call it a high lift or something like that, and it just rides it right on the train tracks. It's the same crews that do all the maintenance and stuff like that for the train company.
And so you have to deal with Alaska Railroad quite a bit to make sure, especially when you're going to use them.
Yes. They're the only way I can get out stuff up here aside from the helicopter, and we've done that too many times, and that's not cheap.
No, helicopters are very expensive to operate, very expensive.
Yeah, Talkeetna Air was really good. We had them fly up the Blaze King Princess 32 and a Sofa, 2 different, each time differently, and they were under $300 because we're only 15 air miles to Talkeetna, so they get here pretty quick. And then we had the big wood-fired cook stove brought in, and that was a couple grand because of the weight, and they had to come out of Palmer, and that was like days after the big windstorm of 22. So that was not fun.
That brings shipping to a whole different level up here, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. I could have tried to bring it up on a snow machine, but I didn't want to, have an issue and break it. It's an expensive wood stove.
Right. We down here in the Kenai Peninsula, we complain all the time about, man, Amazon charged me all this extra for shipping. And then you're like, well, I got to pay that just to get it to the guy that's going to ship it to me.
Pretty much. We're lucky. I was a journalist for a long time, so I talk a lot, and I can get people to talk. We made friends with a lot of the folks on the railroad, and if we need stuff, there's a number of them that are willing to just run and grab it for us, and we're blessed to have them in our lives. Mary, she works the summer train, and she's become a really good friend, her and her mom both. And without them, it would be a lot harder out here for us. She just sent up all kinds of stuff for Christmas for us, all our Amazon packages and packages from friends. Our subscribers sent us a lot of stuff up, so it was kind of nice to be able to get that. Otherwise, it wouldn't be gotten until sometime in January.
Right. Yeah, that's great. So how many people would you estimate live off of the rail line that would use, around you? How many other people would be using that rail stop? Not necessarily your neighbors, but 10, 12?
Between Talkeetna and Hurricane, and that's the only place that they do the flag stop. There are in Chase, we're technically part of Chase, but we're kind of outside on the edges of it. I believe between Talkeetna and Hurricane, I think there's about 30 houses that are full-time. And that's people thinking that it's actually gone down now. They're thinking it's probably down to around 15 to 20.
Right. Because as people age out, if they don't, they want the easier life in town. And
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And we're seeing that more and more now. There's a lot of them out there, especially in Chase, that are not year-round, even though they say they are. They'll go in for the winter months and then they'll go back to town in the summer months because they don't want to have to deal with the mud on the trails, because that area of Chase can actually use a trail system, but it's not accessible by us because the way the trains run along the river. So
right.
We can't use it. I mean, I've hiked to town and back from town on the tracks a couple times, and it's not fun. I mean, it's a long walk. Amy, I'm in Talkeetna. How long is my growing season? My growing season depends. We have a barn on our second story, and if we have the right weather, I can actually start growing in March, but we have to have the right weather. And next year it'd be better because I'm actually going to put a wood stove out there, probably actually a waste oil burner to help keep the greenhouse warm, and then I can start growing in March without an issue. We started early in April last year, and then I don't know if you remember that last year, Sean, we had snow.
Yeah.
We had 3 feet dump on us in late April. Just when we thought we were in the clear to start planting, it came in hot and heavy and messed everything up.
Yeah, I was pretty happy that I didn't put the garden in last year because it would have been a bust of a season. I mean, even folks down here were saying, that are longtime gardeners with greenhouses and high tunnels and stuff were saying, man, it took forever for anything to germinate last year because It was really cool. It was really cool.
We didn't start getting tomatoes until late August.
Yeah, and that's in a greenhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because we can't, I don't think most people realize that tomatoes are the one fruit that we can't really grow outside here. There are a few varieties, but very few. If you want good quality salad, sandwich, or canning tomatoes, you're going to grow them in a greenhouse.
Yep. We're going to do beefsteaks, Cherokee, and probably some San Moranos again this year for canning.
Right.
And we'll keep some of the other ones for sandwiches during the season when we can eat them.
Yeah, that's the other thing, too, is that we have all kinds of veggies during the season, but once winter hits, that's pretty much it.
Right.
Yeah.
If I'm missing anybody's questions, I see Amy asked another question. Are you growing and harvesting your own food? We do some, not a lot. The reason is because we've been focusing on the property for the last 2 years. Now we're going to go into getting the gardens going. We're going to do some hugelkultur and raise beds around the property. And I'm going to work on doing a monolithic arch greenhouse that's probably going to be about 80 feet long.
Oh, nice.
It's going to take me about a year to do it because I have to mill all the wood. That's what I need to get the wood for milling so I can make the arches. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They actually take and bend one piece and you put a block in there every couple of feet, and then you bend another board and it holds the arch.
Yeah, I've seen them.
They're really nice, and it'll hold a lot of weight of snow. So it's that, and we want to build another Arctic entry. Well, we want to put an Arctic entry on this house with a root cellar below it.
Oh, nice. So when you got there, did you buy the mill before you got there, or was the mill part of the buy when you got the property?
It was on the property. The owner did not want to part with it until I badgered him enough to sell it to me. It's just it's a Hudson Sawyer. It's a low end mill, but it works perfectly.
Yeah,
there's no issues with it at all. I mean, I haven't done a lot with it because I haven't had the time, but now I'm gearing up to do a lot.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, like I get a lot of comments all the time about how come it takes you so long to do this. And well, besides the fact that I don't know what I'm doing and I'm new at it,
right.
You get so many projects going at once when the weather gets right that it's all you can do to finish anything that you start. And like the project that you're talking about, where you're going to build a huge garden, is a multi-year investment for you, and it will be for me, because the first year you're trying to get the basics in, and then every year after that you're trying to build it even better to get to the point where you want it to be.
Yes, that's very true. Like when we go to do our raised garden beds, we're going to have to get bales of good loam brought up because it's all clay up here. We go down about 8 inches and we get into cobble. It's all rock, and that's not good for growing. So we're going to have to do all our raised beds and bring in dirt and mix it with the clay that's here, and rectify it with some other stuff that will make it so it stays moist but not too moist. Like the clay would just hold the water.
Right. But if you can get the clay down to the cobble and you can mix that up, then you'll have some decent drainage when it's all said and done. But that will take a while to get the soil where you want it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Amy, Sarah and I have been here 2.5 years now. We were down in Southwest Florida I was down there for almost 30 years, and she was down there about 10 to 12. And I'm originally from New Hampshire. So that's why the cold don't really bother me.
Yeah, no stranger to the cold.
No, it's a wet cold back there, so it's a lot different.
Nice. Here's a comment from Genova. Merry Christmas, by the way, Genova. Thank you. Glad you can make it today. The fondest Christmas memory was the time when my family went to Yosemite in winter to stay in the cabin and go cross-country skiing. Loved it so much. And a side note to that, Genova is just north of Yosemite in the Sierras is where I grew up. That's where I'm from. So,
nice.
Again, the cold and the snow, We got a lot more snow there than we get here.
What, didn't they have like 70 feet in some place over there last year? It was higher than the ski lifts.
Yeah, so Kirkwood Ski Resort has like a huge condo complex there where everybody stays, and they showed the picture of a normal winter where you see the condo complex, and then you see all the snow around it, and they've cleared it and everything else. But last winter, the next picture was of the rooftops of the condo complex because the snow was that deep.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like one of the deepest. California went from 30-year drought to no drought whatsoever in one winter season.
Right. That's a lot of snow. And and we're dependent on that too, because I mean, it can really mess up our system up here if we don't have a lot of snow. Then from what I read and talked to other people about, is the years we don't get a lot of snow, we're more prone to fires.
Yes, and we're going to have fires up here anyway, because especially with the beetle kill trees that we've had,
Yes.
there's just standing dead trees. So when lightning strikes, it just erupts. But if you don't get that freeze up to kill back a lot of that underbrush,
Yep.
and the snow, then when the fire season breaks out, it just rips through. While you're on the camera real quick, I'm going to turn the generator off because it's about to run out of fuel. It'll stay alive, not a problem at all. I was just topping everything off. I'll be right back.
Not a problem. All right, let's see what everybody's saying here. Hello, Raven Cat. See, Amy says because building stuff that works in these 30 takes time. Yes, that is definitely, it definitely takes time and energy to build it right up here. With the heavy snow loads and then the earthquakes we have, you definitely want to make sure that it's right. It's like our place that we're in here. Little history behind this. This place was actually on the TV show Railroad Alaska. And on the show, Jim started building this house before he passed. And we didn't realize how big it was, but it's 1,900 square feet out here. So I don't like the way some of the pilings are done. So I'm going to redo a lot of the pilings in the summertime because it's on Alaskan sawmill post. And I don't know if the undersides are treated. So I want it to be right.
Especially since you live there, right?
Yes.
Merry Christmas to you, Cecilia. Glad you can make it today. Fishy, good morning and Merry Christmas, or good afternoon and Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Amy saying, best of luck, y'all. Sounds like you have a lot to do, but it sounds like you love the off-grid life.
Yes, I've been off-grid most of my life on boats, so it's not new to me. It's just different location and less water.
And I think that when it comes to off-grid living, it's like my kids always give me grief when I go down there and see them, and they're like, Dad, you are so different than you were when you were here. And I go, what do you mean? And they go, you're just more focused, more centered, more easygoing, more calm. And I go, you have no idea what goes wrong every single day of my life. And you either absolutely love this lifestyle or you want no part of it whatsoever. There is no middle road.
No, there's not. Not everybody's cut out for this. I think the stats are for every 100 people that come to Alaska, only 2 or 3 make it through the first winter.
Yeah, I could believe that. And and that's why the first winter, we call it the, I'll use the initials FNG, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever somebody's an FNG, we won't even bother learning much about you or who you are in the summer.
Yep.
In spring, if you're sitting there going, hey, when are we going fishing? Then we'll learn your name, what you're about, what your family is.
Yes. Like when we first come up here looking in May of 21, we met a lot of different people and they were kind of standoffish until they found out we made an offer on property. Then they're like, oh, well, you need to come talk to us about this.
Yeah.
And we met a lot of friends that, after the first couple months of them knowing us, they're like, oh yeah, you got this. You can see a mindset and a determination in certain people. And they just looked at Sarah and I and they're like, oh yeah, you guys will be fine. We come out in the springtime and they're like, yeah, we knew it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, I think that's pretty awesome too, because there are those people up here that if they weren't in the city, they probably would be in Seattle, or they'd be, if they weren't in Anchorage, they'd be in Seattle, or they'd be in New York or San Francisco. And they're Alaskans, they live here, but they would be lost. I mean, literally, when the power goes out, they're panicking. They don't know what to do. And then there's the other people that are like, oh, well, no, we call that Tuesday. It's not a big deal. We'll figure it out.
Right. And that happens. I mean, I see a lot of people that don't have generators and it's like, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
especially in the wintertime. We have, well, we don't, but in town, there are so many, power outages, whether there's somebody hitting a tree or hitting a power line or trees collapsing on the poles and taking out the lines. I mean, you've got to have something. You need to.
Right. Yeah, you need a backup. But then again, that's I think the whole mentality of being prepared, right? Not being a prepper, but being prepared for whatever hey, I don't want to have to deal with that. The last time the power went out, it was a nightmare. I'm buying a generator tomorrow. Where these people are all, the last time the power went out, I forgot. So I didn't buy anything or didn't fix anything.
Right. So, but anyways, I'm going to pop off. I've got to get ready for my live, and I will talk to you in a little bit.
Awesome. I shall see you over there as well. Folks that don't know, this is Rob at Curmudgeon Inn. He's going to be live right after I'm done being live here today, along with
Alaska Cut the Cord
and
Alone in Remote Alaska.
Very cool. And both awesome, awesome channels to go along with him. If you are not subscribed to Rob, by all means do so, because he's a neat guy and he does some neat stuff, and his property is freaking awesome.
Well, one of these days you got to find time to get up here.
I will, man. I might try and figure out a way to do it this summer, because I do, like I said, I want to see more of Alaska this year. It's not going to be as much building as it was last year, but by all means, Rob, Merry Christmas to you, and I shall see you at your live later on.
Merry Christmas. Talk to you soon.
All right, man. Bye. If I could be thankful for any one thing that has happened since I started doing the whole YouTube channel, it's meeting folks like Rob and, Alone in Remote Alaska, and finding all these awesome, awesome channels and awesome people. The Broussards here at Broussard Family Homestead, super, super cool people that would never have entered my life or been a part of my life unless I had started this YouTube channel. Super awesome. Super awesome. Jump back up into the comments here. No snow in Ontario, Canada yet. Maybe the second week of January. Wow, Mike, that's crazy. Amy, you're all too north for me. I don't like the cold at all. Currently 59 degrees here in Louisiana. I don't know how you deal with the heat. I know you guys have a nice air conditioner and stuff, but Amy, I can't. I don't know how you guys deal with the heat down there. I lived in Houston for 2 years? I think it was 2 years. I was in Houston, Texas, and the humidity just about destroyed me. Groovy Moose Cabin, Alaska. Merry Christmas to you. Glad you can make it today. Awesome to see you. Spin this around a bit here. I'll just sit here and be quiet for a second and take a couple of sips and give the voice a break. That was awesome having Rob on here. If you've got off-grid questions, that's a guy you really want to talk to. Canadian, Merry Christmas, my friend. Glad to see you. Awesome that you can make it today. I do agree with you there, Amy. It's not so much the heat, it's the humidity. Man, that humidity's crazy down there. One good thing about watching on my phone is I can throw it in my pocket when I go to feed the critters, and time to feed them. That's true, right? When I was down seeing my daughters in October of this year, so in California, October can still be pretty warm, and it was 92 degrees, but it wasn't humid. So other than the smoke from the fires they had going, because they had some burns going, it was relatively okay to deal with. Charles and Annalyn, Merry Christmas to you guys. Awesome to see you here today. What's next on the list to do? I kind of talked about this a bit earlier, so I'll go over it again. I want to get the stone. I'm going to get that Durock concrete board on the wall in the next day or two. And then I want to get the stone laid out for where it's going to go on the wall before I even think about mixing the first batch of mortar to put it up there. I want the stone all laid out exactly how it's going to be on that wall so that I know that I have enough, and if I have to make any adjustments, I can. And then at that point, more than likely, work on the wood stove would probably stop, because I don't really want to set up the scaffolding and run the pipes all the way up the top. I will run everything out the wall and be ready as far as that goes. Just to run it up to the top, I won't have that. I won't be ready to do that yet. At that point, I'm going to jump into the kitchen and I'm going to sheetrock the walls inside the kitchen. And then I can, once I have sheetrock on the walls in the kitchen, I can start building cabinets. So it'll be kitchen cabinets from that point forward and getting some kitchen work done because, man, I'm getting tired of doing everything on that folding table and getting tired of cooking dinners on that crazy Coleman camp stove. It was not designed for the use I've put it through. Suzanne Sweet Kitchen, Merry Christmas to you as well. You can't stay long. Wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Thanks for popping in. I understand it's Christmas Day. We've had people jumping in and out all day. I'll be honest with you. There's been a lot more folks in this live than I ever expected to have show up for this. So I'm super excited for that. But by all means, if you can't hang, don't feel obligated to do so. Completely understand. Amy, humidity is low today due to a cool front. It's 77% humidity. Okay, I'm going to do a temperature check here real quick. Give me a second, and I'll shout it out to you. Outside right now is 14 degrees. Looks like, hold on so I can see it. I can't really see what that humidity is there. Looks like 34% humidity outside. Inside upstairs is 70 Fahrenheit. Humidity is 33%. Down here in the kitchen, the humidity is 35%. Give me just a second, folks. I'll be right back with you. There we go. So yeah, Amy, I don't know if you caught that or not, but we're looking at 34% humidity here right now. Curmudgeon in Alaska channel, please. I didn't see it on your channel, Sean. Okay. Well, see if I can pull this up real quick. And do a quick search of hang on, folks. Let's see if I can go here, and then I'll share this, copy the link. And this is the link to the live stream that they're going to be having as soon as this live stream is over. So the multiple live stream with Curmudgeon, Cut the Cord Alaska, and Alone in Remote Alaska will be found right at that link right here. And hopefully that'll get you there to them. That's the link to their live video. So from there, I'm sure it's all, well, I know it's all set up already to go. So from there, you can get to their channel and everything. Everybody saying hello. John, Merry Christmas to you as well in Wisconsin. Very cool to have you here. Brook Trout 1, Merry Christmas to you as well. Popped in a while ago for a minute. Done some yard work. 70 down in Venice. Okay, enough of the warm temperatures. You're killing me here, people. Amy, if our humidity drops below 50%, my skin gets so dry it splits. I'm made for the swamp, apparently. It's a good thing you're married to Brett then, right? Because he's a swamp creature. I always kid Brett. He's good people. Very good people. Your whole family is nice folks. Really nice. Jonathan Davis, Merry Christmas to you as well, my friend. Glad to see you today. Not a problem, Mike. If anybody needs a link, by all means, just shout it out, and I'll go ahead and I'll see what I can do about finding it and sharing it with you. While I'm here, I should probably do this, though. Close this. Let's see if I can pull that up. Where are you at? I know you can see me looking around. That's because I don't really want to put my glasses on right now. So I think this will get us right where we need to be. Copy. And this is the channel link for Broussard Homestead for Brett and Amy. Nice, like nice folks. And they go live every week too. They're super nice people. Jonathan Davis wants to know, did Santa give you anything great? Sorry, I'm late. You're never late. You're always on time when you show up. I got some nice gifts. So I got some beautiful glasses from a friend of mine up here in Alaska that I worked with. She worked at the store with me that I'm currently at. And now she's over at our sister store in Kenai. And she made me some hand etched Sean in Alaska beer glasses. They're super cool. I'll get pictures out and show you later. Brother Will gave me a hair cutting kit, which is awesome because I'm in dire need of it. I had Scott at Hester's Garage bought me some curtains for the windows over there. What else do I have here? Right, that's the curtains, that's the glasses, that's the hair care stuff. And then my daughter, so I'm a Doctor Who fan. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. My daughter made me, this is massive, an incredibly huge scarf in the entire vein of the fourth Doctor on Doctor Who, which is super cool. It's been a wonderful Christmas. A wonderful Christmas for me. Milo on the ready's got potatoes on the grill for baked potatoes. It's beer 30 now. Very good. Very good. If you guys didn't catch it, that again is the link for Broussard Homestead. Charles and Adeline want to know if Santa stopped by for a beer. Yes, he did. He came by last night and he had a beer and he had himself a little dram of Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey as well. He said he needed to warm up before he went the rest of the way. I'm telling you, right? YouTube, I have met some of the most incredible people on this platform that I would never have met in my life if I would not have done what I have done. And my life is enriched because of it. Right, Linda? I love off-grid living. Right, Cecilia, she said it's 16 feet long. So the story goes that my kids are a lot like me. Imagine that, right? They teach themselves to do many things. We're pretty fearless when it comes to learning new stuff, and we enjoy the process of learning it. But she taught herself how to crochet. So in the process of teaching herself how to crochet, I think that was her big project, to get herself down with switching colors and everything. And that's why it's 16 feet long, because she said it's been done for a while. But then she turned around and also did beanies, socks, all kinds of stuff for all of her nieces and nephews and in-laws. And she said they loved them and they were beautiful. She shared the pictures. They were just absolutely gorgeous. So super, super cool. Super proud of her. I'm proud of both of my kids. They're incredible human beings. They're wonderful parents. They're everything a dad could want their children to be. Cecilia, I make them big, but it's big. It's really big. The idea of off-grid living in Mesa, Arizona is not good. We have to have AC in the summer. You can have AC off-grid, but man, you better have a good battery bank. The nice thing is that you probably have the solar capability there like nobody's business too. This has gone faster than I ever believed it would have gone. I mean, we've been chatting here on and off with everybody. Some folks have been hanging out for the whole time. We've been chatting here for 2.5 hours, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. Like I said, if you did not get the link to the live that's going to follow up directly after mine from Rob at Curmudgeon, when we get to the end, there will be a redirect that will I've never used it before, but I set it up to work this time, should automatically show you the next live, which will be Rob's over at Curmudgeon. So by all means, check it out. It'll be fun. I'm going to go there. I'll be there when this is done. Yeah, see, Amy's got solar and central AC in their house in Louisiana. So, if Louisiana can do it, Mesa, Arizona can do it, right? I want a snack. I think we'll break into a Christmas cake that I got from Pete and Amanda. So, I have a serious issue with sweets, right? I mean, anybody who's watched me long enough knows that I will drive 40 miles round trip just to get an ice cream. I don't keep ice cream at the house because I will eat it all. So Will was giving me a ration the other day, and he said, "Hey, how come you haven't opened up this candied popcorn that him and Barb seem to get me every holiday? They get me a little thing of candied popcorn." And I said, "Because when I open it, I will eat the whole thing because I can't stop. So let's give this a taste. I'm pretty sure it's going to be gone when I'm done, though. Ooh, this is nice. Oh, that smells delicious. Oh, yeah. That's not going to make it very long. I'm going to eat that whole thing. She's saying they have solar and AC, but it'll eat up the batteries pretty quickly. Again, that's all back to the whole sizing your system based on what you are going to use. So, if you're going to get into solar, if you're just going to use solar as a backup for what you've got and you're not converting your whole place to solar, it's not as drastic. But if you're going to make solar your focus on where you live and how you live, then you first need to decide how many things you're going to run, all the way down to I have coffee twice a day with an electric coffee pot that burns this much in the way of watts and volts. The nice thing is that if you're not sure in the beginning and you don't want to call somebody to have them start hounding you to sell you a solar system, you can pretty much look up on any solar company website that is reputable on the internet. You can go to Renogy and you can do this. They'll have a solar calculator built into their website where you can type in how often you use this, how often you use that, and it will tell you how many kilowatt hours you use per day. And then it will suggest, you will tell it how many days that you want of storage for your battery system, your battery bank, and it will let you know what is the suggested storage, but it will also let you input that number yourself, and then it will tell you how many batteries you need. Then it'll tell you how many solar panels you need. So you can get all that information without ever calling a company whatsoever, which is super, super cool. 120-degree temps kill the batteries out here. I can see that, man. Charles and Annalyn, solar's on their list to do. Nice. Peggy Garcia is asking, do I know the man that does My Alaska? Can't think of his name. Haven't seen anything from him for a long time. I'm not sure, but if you think of his name, I do watch quite a few Alaska YouTube channels. So pop his name in there if you think so, and by all means, I'll let you know. Brook Trout 1 had root beer floats last night for dessert. I love root beer floats. Root beer floats are yummy. Have you ever had a cream soda float? So if I'm not going to have a root beer float, cream soda is the way I'm going to go. I love a good cream soda. Ray Martinez, Merry Christmas to you. Awesome. Mike McKinley, I used to eat everything. Now I have diabetes type 2. Bummer. I used to love Christmas cake, and I can't eat it anymore. I used to make Christmas cake, Bushmills Irish whiskey cake. I used to make that every year for Christmas with Bushmills Irish whiskey soaked in it and the golden raisins. Oh, delicious. Dave. Call this the extended family Christmas chat gathering. Nice, I like it. Brook Trout 1, cream soda or root beer from a company in Milwaukee. Sprecker's the best. Nice, right? Cream soda's yummy. When I was a kid, we had knee-high blue cream soda that we used to be able to buy in the big bottles. And that, I think I bought it the first time because it was blue soda. And man, I just loved it. I love cream soda. Cecilia says, talking about food, you can do more cooking, more videos on cooking. I am, but I'm kind of at the point now where I want to wait. I mean, you'll see my Christmas dinner, right? That'll be in that'll probably be in next week's video, as a matter of fact. But I really want to dig more into bread making, my own sourdough starters and all that stuff here at the cabin. Once I get the kitchen to the point where I can actually cook in it on a regular basis, that's what I'm kind of holding off for. We have 2 end-phase charger batteries and 24 panels. Our temps this past summer were 110 to or 100 to 115 degrees. Solar is possible, but it takes discipline. It does. That's the other thing too. Is, like I said, for me, I could have all the power requirements or all the power I need in the summer, but I'm not using it then. The big key is when you are using it, having what you need to be able to carry you through until it can top off or charge off the next time. If you have the best of both worlds and you're on the grid, you can tie it in. You can tie that into your batteries as well, your charge controller, so that you can top it off. So like today, I was running the generator for, the first hour and a half, 2 hours that we were live here. I was just running that generator to top everything off because right now I'm plugged into this 1800 watt portable power station. And that will run for hours and hours and hours for me. Ed Case, welcome back. You got firewood, 60 degrees north of Ohio. Nice. John, just starting to show a solar build. Sean, Will Prowse. I know, Will Prowse is awesome. I think Will Prowse's biggest problem is, first of all, when it comes to solar, he's the smartest man on YouTube, as far as I'm concerned. His biggest problem is he's too smart. And he doesn't seem to have the ability to speak stupid. And Sean only understands stupid. But I downloaded his book too. So Will Prowse is the man. If you are interested in solar and you want to get a ton of knowledge in it, he's the man. But again, sometimes he gets going and he's talking here and Sean's hearing here. And I'm missing a whole bunch. But I'll just watch the videos again and again. He's awesome. He is great. Nice. Update on the game. 17-3. The Eagles ahead of the Giants in the second quarter. Come on, Philly. I don't want my brother Bart mad today. It's Christmas. For his Christmas present, I want Philadelphia to win. Charles and Adeline, will you install your kitchen stove soon? I tried to make sourdough bread this week. Didn't turn out well. Ugh. Yes. I'm gonna order a brand new stove. So I will probably do that in the beginning of January, and hopefully that'll get it here to Alaska in sometime early in February. And then we'll start going crazy with the oven again. But first, like I said, even before I even do that, I'll get it all sheetrocked in there. I may not have kitchen counters in yet, but I'm looking forward to having a stove. CK wants to know where I get water from. Do I have a well? I don't have a well yet. I do have eventual plans of having a well put in, but I would like to pay cash for that. I don't want any debt on the property because the property's paid off. The cabin's paid off. My truck's paid off now. So I'd like to be able to do as much cash as I possibly can and still put some away for my next project that I'm hoping to do. So what I do now is I can either go across the street to Todd's. He's got an artesian well over there. So he's already told me I can go over anytime I want to get water. I go over to Brother Will's house a lot because I go over there to shower and clean up. I take my water jugs over there with me, and people give me grief a lot for eating on paper plates, but that's mainly because it's a hassle to wash dishes when you're off grid. At least the way I'm set up now. It'll be better when I get a sink and a counter in here because then I could just wash them in the sink. Right now I have to wash them in a tub. But I do what they call haul water. So I get water from an outside source and bring it in, and I store it in the big 7-gallon blue jugs. So yeah, that's how I deal with the water right now. Always, Gina, welcome back and Merry Christmas to you as well in Georgia. Very cool. Milo on the ready. Since my Alaska 10 acres is heavily wooded, I plan on a wood stove for heat and cooking. Makes a lot of sense. James Carroll, Merry Christmas to you. If you have a wood cook stove, we use a Jodel 404 in a New Hampshire cabin. I would like to have a wood cook stove. The problem with that is that during the summer, I really couldn't cook in the cabin at all if I did because it'd be way too hot. So for this place, I'll just go with a propane stove. For a future place that I'm really thinking about doing, I would like to get a wood cook stove in there. What I am going to more than likely do is somewhere this year or next year or the year after, in the next couple of years, I'd like to do a full outdoor kitchen here. So then I could, during the summer, cook everything outside and never have to cook anything in the cabin. Amy Broussard, we're still grid tied, but I don't like to pay the electric bill, so I just keep your usage to solar only, but we have sunshine most of the year here in the south. Cloudy days are hard to navigate. Yep. I wish I could think of his name. It's called This Is My Alaska. Okay, well, I'm going to look it up. Let's see what we got here. This is my Alaska. Let's do a Google search real quick. Well, he's got a newsletter. I see the guy. I don't know that I'm familiar with who he is, though. If you guys wonder what I'm looking at, here's a YouTube. This is my Alaska. Okay, same guy. Let's look at I don't see an about section. I see videos, playlists, community. He had a video 3 months ago. Look at community. This channel hasn't posted yet on community. Playlists. Sort by. Last video added. Two years ago. Well, I'm seeing the guy, but I don't know who he is. And it doesn't look like he's posted anything too recently. So I'm not familiar with him. That's why I want to build an outdoor kitchen, so that I could just, because you guys know, anybody who watches me for any amount of time in the summer know I cook pretty much everything on a grill. Robert says we have a wood cook stove, and it's no fun to use the oven in the summer, right? You have a propane 2-burner, but like you want an outdoor kitchen. Exactly, right? They're awesome. Wood cook stoves are awesome in the winter. I'll be interested. So I'm a big fan of my self-reliance and Sean James, and I'll be interested to see what he does to cook. Well, he's got an outdoor kitchen, so he won't be using his wood stove inside that he just got, the new one. He won't be using that to cook in the summer. He'll be cooking everything in the outdoor kitchen, I'm sure. Yeah, I just looked him up. I'll look in a little bit deeper at him, but I didn't see any recent videos that he'd done. So, but I will check him out for sure. Brook Trout 1, I was going to say an outdoor kitchen. We put one in just in case of power loss and canning. That's what I want it for more than anything, right? I want it for 2 reasons. Canning, and I want a pizza oven. Well, I want a bread oven. I want a wood-fired oven that I could bake bread in. So that will be an outdoor kitchen. And I want to, that would be a fun project to build a wood-fired oven. That would be very, very cool. And if I'm going to go down the road of sourdough with bread and baguettes and all that stuff, I want a nice oven so that I can get a great crust on it. Built on the rock, critters are fed, so back inside, chickens give you 4 eggs. Nice. A goose is laying 2, but not collecting them. Very nice. Since I'm coming from Arizona, I'm sure your idea of hot days and mine are completely opposites. They are. But I will tell you that when I left California to move to beautiful industrial downtown Funny River, which is a joke that I use because there's nothing industrial about this area at all. My drive up here, the temperature was 115 degrees Fahrenheit when I left California, the foothills. And it was 100 degrees all the way through Washington State. And when I got here, Brother Will was dying. And I wouldn't even turn the air conditioner on in the mobile home, or the motorhome that I drove up here in. And I was laughing at him. I go, dude, this is perfect weather. You couldn't get an air conditioner in the state of Alaska that first year because they were all sold out. They were limiting every person that would go into Costco to buy one to 1 unit. You could not get more than 1 unit because people were walking in and buying 5 and 10 of them. So that first year, I was laughing at him. The next year, right, I became acclimated. We hit 80 degrees, and I thought I was going to die. It's amazing. Like the cold, like right now, I said it was what, like 17 degrees outside. I'll go outside right now in short pants and a t-shirt. It doesn't bother me a bit. I'll go to California. I'll sit outside, in my daughter's backyard at 50 degrees with a cup of coffee and a t-shirt, wearing super light clothes, and she's freezing to death. But if I was back there for a year, I would be freezing too. You get acclimated to wherever you live. How are the girls doing? Are they still laying? My chickens are not laying. I do not provide heat, nor do I provide artificial light for the hens. And that was a decision I made when I first got chickens. And I made that decision because the light was going to be an issue with power requirements. I don't have any power. I have very limited electrical power here, just what I generate or just what I store myself in those car batteries. And I wanted the chickens to have a natural cycle. So from what I understand, every chicken is born with the amount of eggs that they're going to lay. So by not lighting the coop, I am restricting the amount of eggs that I'm going to get, because the laying of hens is triggered a lot by hours of daylight. Well, I'm limiting the eggs I'm going to get in the winter, but I'm extending the egg laying life of my chickens by doing that. It's more of a natural cycle. So I'm not getting any eggs whatsoever, but the chickens are doing fantastic. They just went through a molt, and they're all pretty healthy and happy. I counted them all yesterday, and everybody looked fine. Everybody was still there. I've got 15 hens, and they're doing fantastic. I had them in the last week's video. I had them in. Yeah. So Friday's video. KT wants to know, do I do dip netting? Where does my meat come from? Doing hunting? I have dip netted. And while a lot of folks love doing that and filling their freezer that way, I'd rather fill my freezer with a rod on the river. It's a lot more fun for me to stand on the edge of the river and catch that fish and reel that fish in. So that's where I like to catch my fish. I don't hunt, or I haven't hunted since I moved up here. And the biggest reason for that is twofold. I don't have the storage capacity to store the meat here. I mean, I could can a lot of it, but I don't really have the storage capacity. And the animals here are so big that the amount of meat that I would get from one animal, like a moose, would feed me for 3 years. I mean, it's just way too much meat. So I'm not going to shoot anything unless I am going to eat that thing. And I've had no desire to do that. I work in a grocery store, so when I want a steak, I just buy it from the counter. I do have intentions of changing that, though, and going more and more self-sustainable as this place gets more and more leveled out. So as I have a kitchen that I can do better canning in, this year I'll put the garden in. I'll can up a bunch of stuff from the garden. So I'm going to start supplementing my own food or my own food needs with what I grow. And hunting may be possible down the road. 13 to 14 hours of daylight a day. We did not put lights in our coop this winter, and you're still getting 1 to 2 eggs a day. Okay. Yeah, I'm not getting anything right now, unless they're laying in the other coop, which is quite possible. But I don't want to shovel the roof. The only access to that other one is to pull the roof off the top of it. And I don't want to shovel the snow off the roof and lose their insulation that they have because of that. So, until they start laying in the regular coop again, I won't get any eggs. I don't have electricity near my coop, so no heat or light. December 20th, got eggs. December 21st, shortest day of the year, no eggs. December 22nd, 3 eggs. Yeah, I don't know. They lay when they lay, I guess. Amy, we have 1 chicken left. A mink took the other 14. Holy smokes. You lost 14 chickens. Oh, I've been lucky with predators. I haven't lost any hens with ground predators at all. Before I got the run built in and the coop finished, I lost a couple of birds to aerial predators. So we have falcons, hawks, eagles, and owls. And owls were the biggest opportunists, I would say, of the feathered variety that swooped down and got some of my chickens. It's a habit I picked up when I was younger. Don't talk with food in your mouth. Sean, you should have a bread baking session with materials listed in advance. Then we can all make the bread you're making. You know, we could do something like that. I could do it with braided bread. I could do that. Braided bread's always fun to throw on the dinner table. Maybe I'll see if I can if I get that oven in time, maybe I'll see if I can put something like that together before Easter. And maybe we'll do an Irish soda bread too, because then I can put that together before St. Patrick's Day, because Irish soda bread's delicious. And I've got great recipes for Irish soda bread. But Armstrong, Merry Christmas, my friend. Counting down now the days you'll be raising chickens and rabbits as well. I thought about rabbits, and from everything I've read, rabbits are probably one of the most efficient meats that you can raise at home. But I'm probably, other than chickens, I'm probably going to maybe go with a couple of pigs, because I'd like ham, I'd like sausage, and I'd like bacon. So those are like a food group to me: ham, sausage, and bacon. Nice. Amy planning to start her flock over in the spring. The mink is now taking out the neighbor's birds. It's time to trap that mink. It's time to get it gone. Right? Brook Trout agrees. Mink's got to go on a long vacation. The mink needs to sleep with the fishes, as my Italian relatives would have said when I was growing up. Well, as we wind down here to the last 15 minutes of this year's Christmas Live, if there's anything else you guys would like to chime in with, please let me know. If I can answer any of the questions for you, again, please let me know. More than happy to do so. Like I said, I'm not an expert on this at all, but I'm learning a lot as I'm doing it. And if there's anything that I've done that will help you because of a mistake I made, I would love to tell you and help you avoid that. That's the one thing that really made me start leaning towards rabbits. From everything I've read, I have to let the chicken poop cure, right? Because it's too hot to go right in the garden. Most manures are too hot to go right in the garden, but chicken pellets will go into the garden right away. They are not too hot at all. They're great fertilizer. You can use them immediately. But I love bacon. Trade for rabbit. There we go. Robin Fletcher, Merry Christmas to you as well. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas, and I hope it's going fantastic for you still. It was nice having Fat Man and Robert on, and Steve joining me on the live up top, because it gave me a chance to not talk as much. So my voice is much better this year than it was last year. Yes, chicken is hot, rabbit straight to the garden. That's what I'd read. Very cool. I've got some guys who are helping me with my bobcat hog coyote problem. I saw my dog chase a coyote. Yeah, see now hogs, I wouldn't mind having that problem, because I've had hog before and it's delicious. Wild hog is delicious. You're not making sausage out of it because they're pretty lean, but that's a pretty good pork chop right there. Love our rabbits. Great manure for the garden. They're pretty tasty in a stew too, but us Cajuns will eat almost anything. Nice. Yeah, I don't think I have to worry about the heat, but I don't know. I mean, we have a lot of different groups up here, a lot of different Facebook groups. So before I got into, and I use the internet for the tool that I think it was designed for in the first place. I use it to teach myself and to entertain myself, but I teach myself more than anything. So there's a lot of Facebook groups up here on poultry. And so I joined those right away before I even got chickens. And so like half the people in these groups heat their coops and light their coops, and the other half do it my way, where they don't heat their coops and they don't light their coops. And so I've gained a bunch of knowledge from those groups. So if I do get into rabbits, I'll probably join a group on that as well, so that I can learn more from people who are already doing it here. We don't have the heat issues for rabbits, but I don't know what the cold will do to them, right? Will they freeze to death? Even though I've got hares that are running around the property all the time here. I mean, the tracks are all over the place. But what about meat rabbits? Would they make it? It's all a learning curve for me. I already talked to Alaska Fishing Game. I'll be able to hunt all the snowshoe hares I want on the property. Yes, you will. Yeah, I don't think there's any limit on those whatsoever. Peggy Garcia, how long have I been working on my cabin? Honestly, less than 12 months. Right? I mean, I put the first holes in the ground for this cabin. No, it's been over a year. I'm trying to think back. I moved into the cabin in March, so I started the previous May. So it's about 18 months now that I've been working on this place. So yeah, 18 months. Rabbits struggle in the heat, but do really well in the cold. Okay, cool. That's good to know. Take another bite of this cake. This cake is gone, by the way. It's all that's left of it. Yeah, it's, when you're raising animals, it's tough. I will tell you that I don't water the chickens anymore. So I was fighting the water situation the first couple of years that I had chickens. And as long as I have fresh snow on the ground, I quit watering them. The only time I'll bring water out and I'll add organic apple cider vinegar to the water is when we get a warm streak where we're like 40 degrees or warmer. And then that's mainly to get that organic apple cider vinegar into them. But I got to thinking, nobody waters the birds, right? Nobody waters the eagles and the ravens, and I watch these birds just start eating snow. So I've done that with the chickens now this entire winter. I haven't had a problem at all. I mean, one time we got to that 40-degree range, and I brought up the water out there with the organic apple cider vinegar for them, and let them drink that for a couple of days, and then everything froze up again, and they went right back to eating snow. So they're very low maintenance. It's crazy how easy it is for them. I've raised both. Me personally, rabbit is the way to go. Chickens are good, but rabbits are amazing. If you house a rabbit, they are more at risk in the cold. Wind is the biggest factor with rabbits. Same thing with chickens, though, too. You want the coop to be vented, but you want it to be draft-free because it's the drafts that'll kill them. My grandfather raised rabbits outside in Indiana all year round. Nice. Josh at Southern Roots, Alaska branches is into meat rabbits. He's in North Pole. Okay, he's somebody I'm going to have to check out then, because North Pole gets a whole lot colder than we do down here. North Pole is just outside of Fairbanks, Alaska, so they get some brutal temperatures. Pam Tower, Merry Christmas to you. Hi from Minnesota. First time catching a live. Enjoy your videos. Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that. I hope your Christmas was fantastic. I hope everybody's Christmas was fantastic. I know mine was, and this is like the icing on the cake for me right here. See, I found like 3 or 4 new leads on people to look up on YouTube, that's a good day for me. When I find 3 channels that other people enjoy, that usually means I'll probably find something I enjoy on them too. Oh, winding down and getting to the end. I can't believe all the folks that have hung out with me for so long. Caleb Campbell, Merry Christmas, my friend. Glad you can make it today. Wonder if I noticed a difference in the cabin since you insulated underneath. Yes. The floors were a tad bit chilly before I got the floor insulation put in. And right now they're still chilly. Don't get me wrong. It's Alaska and it's cold outside and the ground is frozen. But I can walk on the floor with thin socks and my feet are fine. Where this time of year, if I was still in the trailer, I would have to have 3 pairs of socks on. If not shoes, I'd have to have 3 pairs of socks on just to put my feet on the ground in the trailer. So huge difference insulating that floor. Huge difference. That's not done yet either, though, right? I've got the insulation there, but I have nothing holding it up. It's all held up via gravity right now. I've had to go under there twice to push some up in a couple of bays, and it was the same bays that I had to go up the time before. So I did do a temporary, I ran some screws in on the side so it stopped it from falling for whatever reason. But yeah, huge difference. You out of here, Cecilia. Merry Christmas to you as well. Have yourself a wonderful day, and thanks for stopping by. I greatly appreciate it. Be right back. My one bad habit and vice that I have left over. You guys don't need to see me do it. So before we head out of here, plans for New Year's for anybody. I have a tradition of a dish that I fix every year at New Year's. And I'll be fixing it this year on New Year's Day. Well, no, I'm working New Year's Day. So I guess I'll have to fix it on New Year's Eve. And that is ham hock and beans. So my mom used to fix ham hock and beans when I was a kid. And I kind of got her recipe and tweaked it to my own recipe. So I'm going to make a big batch of ham hock and beans, and I'm going to make some cornbread. But I have to figure out how to cook the cornbread. I might do the cornbread on the barbecue in a Dutch oven. If not, I'll have to fire up the stove in the trailer. What do you guys like to cook on New Year's Day? For me, it's always been a bean dish day. But I do ham hock and beans and cornbread. That's my dinner for New Year's. That'll be the dinner for New Year's Eve, and then probably for 4 or 5 days after that. I need 3 pairs of socks to listen to you talk about the cold. James Carroll, thank you, my friend. Greatly appreciated. Merry Christmas to you. I follow Bush Radical. He's built some nice cabins in northern. Yeah, I follow Bush Radical as well. That's a great channel. He's a neat person. He's a very neat person. My outhouse build was a direct copy of an outhouse that he built. The only difference is mine is a sealed outhouse. So it's got a composting bucket in there. His was hole through the floor, hole in the ground. But yeah, I used his plan. I used Dave Whipple. I used his plans from Bush Radical. What kind of beans? I do. I use the small red beans in my ham hock and beans, and it's a red sauce when it's done. Well, nice, Amy. Your daughter turns 23 on New Year's Day. Very cool. CK makes Frito pies. Nice, nice. Ashley Anderson, I just finished some cornbread and beans. Nice. That's a good meal, right? It's a good stomach filler. John Feeney, you make split pea soup. Nice. If I had a good recipe, I would probably do something like that multiple times a year because I love split pea soup with ham. Milo on the ready. I go Irish corned beef and cabbage. Nice. Pam, we treat ourselves to lobster. Yum. That's delicious. Built on the Rock. Amy, I should send you some mohair socks. You can watch Sean. Amy does black-eyed peas, smothered cabbage with ham hocks. I love ham hocks. Ham hocks or ham shanks. Either one work great. The meatier, the better. So if I could find some really, really meaty shanks, I usually buy shanks. Kyle 505, make sure you cook cornbread in a cast iron skillet. I thought that was the only way you could do it. I thought that was the only way you could cook cornbread. Charles and Annalyn do black-eyed peas and turnip greens. Nice. Ashley, thank you very much, and a Merry Christmas to you and your family. Thanks for joining me for this little live extravaganza today. It is always good to see you. Like I said, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you. Amy, I used to know a guy who was born January 1st. His twin brother was born December 31st. They were in World War II Wow, that's crazy. Twin brothers who didn't share the same birthday. I have the brother that's an Eagles fan. He's an identical twin. He's got an identical twin brother. So I have brothers that are 11 months younger than me that are identical twins. God bless mom. She had 3 boys within 11 months. Crazy. Crazy. Oh, look at that. Your daughter's birthday is 111. Nice. 4 cheese cornbread with eggs and bacon. There's not much you can do wrong to cornbread. One of my favorite things to do with cornbread is jalapeno cornbread, right? Jalapeno and chunks of cheese in there. It's delicious. My family gives me grief all the time because I tell them I'm a purist. And by that, I mean, when I have pancakes, I only put butter on my pancakes. When I have waffles, I only put butter on my waffles. When I have cornbread, I only put butter on my cornbread unless it's a muffin. If it's a corn muffin, then I use honey too. Bud wants to know, what brand of cast iron do I have? I think it's all Lodge. I think everything I have is a Lodge cast iron pan at this point. I know I've got a Lodge Dutch oven, and then I've got a Lodge big quart, or I don't know, huge. The thing I made my chuck roast in, and the thing I made my stew in, that's Lodge. And then my regular cast iron skillets, I believe, are all Lodge as well. I know that there's better cast iron stuff out there, but Lodge is so cheap and easy to get, right? Everybody's got it. So I just think that if you take care of your cast iron, it'll take care of you and it'll last forever. And it doesn't really matter what the brand name is on it. So for me, it all becomes about price. My cornbread with whole pieces of corn in it. Are you pulling my leg? That could be interesting. Amy, send it to me. By all means, send me the recipe for Mexican cornbread. Definitely. Cornbread is a food group for me. I am a big fan of those kind of breads. I'm a huge fan of Irish soda bread too. So, an Irish soda bread is a non-yeast bread. It's what's the term? I'm drawing a complete blank on it right now. It's a leavened bread. It's not a yeast raised bread. We're getting to the end. We're down to the last minute. I want to thank everybody for joining me today, making my Christmas much more enjoyable. I hope this made your Christmas a little bit of fun as well. If you have nothing on your plate and you want to hang out and learn a little bit more about Rob and his lifestyle, and Cut the Cord Alaska and their lifestyle, and Alone in Remote Alaska and her lifestyle, because she's out there too. She's pretty remote. Then when we get to the end of this, that'll probably be suggested to you to join in. With that said, thank you guys, as always, for joining me, for making this an incredible journey. A lot of fun, great people, and great time so far. I'm loving every part of this. Merry Christmas to you and your family. I am Sean in Alaska, wishing you a happy New Year's and a great rest of your Christmas day. We'll do this again next year on Christmas too. Talk to you guys later. I am out of here. Where's the button?